And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by Machcine Washable.
There we go.
I'm joined by Mach.
Mock. I'm not saying the other part.
Sheen Washable. Wow. That's it, and that's it. There's nobody else here.
I should grab my beer, huh?
Yeah, probably. I'm already drinking one because it's just been the Red Baron bailed for work, sent Rebecca Morse code on how to get this show started, and kudos to her for even if it was through help by the fearless leader Peter Pino, she got us up and running, and doesn't matter. Kudos to you. I mean, I'm hearing tones in the background of the computer, like something on the computer's happening because I can hear it.
That happens every week, though.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, I
you don't wear your headphones.
Yeah, that's right. I only wear my headphones because it's just Mock talking, so I was like, I better do this. But yeah, we're here.
We're here.
I don't know how long we're going to be on for. Rebecca might burn the place down by accident. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, we'll go. I need that Heineken light to be on, though.
Oh, yeah. Can you turn the Heineken light on? I don't know that we're on. No, welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk.
Anyone else see that really just falling over?
Oh, my God. Right on her. Rebecca, you look very,
Disheveled?
no, like kindergarten-ish today.
Thanks, it's the scrunchie.
You got like the side pony with the big scrunchie. You're wearing a alpaca shirt. Is it an alpaca or a llama shirt?
Llama.
I don't know the
You
difference.
know, it helps if you talk into the mic.
She's like, no.
Well, you're talking.
Like, we're having a conversation. It's not this is all just a facade. You can't hear me. So, I don't know what we're going to talk about today.
Hey, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, right?
We're here. Let's lock it down.
Oh, I thought you were going something else there. All right. Whoops. So something I think we could lead. Oh, we'll start off with the beer. So, we were waiting, and my beers weren't cold, so I'm just going in on Coors Light right now, just trying to get something going.
See, I'm gonna try and do a double thing here. I have the Highlight, which I featured last week. I didn't get a chance to buy a beer today, but I'm gonna do that one again. Lead off with the Bud Light. Kind of suck this down real fast.
There you go.
Get the party started.
I like that. I like that a lot. Toast of Excellence?
You can go first.
Oh, can I? My Toast of Excellence is to the NHL draft. It was very exciting. A lot of trades. We've already seen PK Subban has been moved.
Who's that?
PK Subban? PK Subban! He's been moved to the New Jersey Devils, who also got Jack Hughes, the number one prospect. Very exciting. We had this whole NHL thing planned, but then everybody decided that they weren't going to be here. Today.
It kind of happened fast.
Yeah, Souls was like, I'd rather play softball. And then we were like, okay, cool. Mass was like, I don't feel good because I drank too much. Puss.
A day ago.
And Kendall was like, oh, I'm a hotshot now, so I'm kind of a douche.
Big shot. He's a big shot.
Yeah. But, yeah, to the NHL draft.
My toast, which I believe the Mass would have used, but I'm going to use it, is to Albert Pujols, who made his big return finally.
You can't write a better script.
Yeah, he was able to come back and play again in St. Louis. It'll be the last time. I mean, we're assuming he'll play there. So it was a nice moment. I mean, the crowd received him really well.
Well, he hit a dinger, too, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It was just a cool thing. I mean, he's one of the all-time players, but definitely Cardinals.
Yeah.
So it was a cool little send-off for him. Because he's been gone for a long time and never went back there.
Yeah.
Like, the way the scheduling was, he never played back.
He went from NL to AL.
Yeah.
So it's not a guaranteed thing. And then on top of it, too, there was no guarantee that he was even going to go back to St. Louis. Like, the St. Louis Cardinals could have easily went to L.A.
Yeah.
So,
which I think happened. I think the Cardinals played in L.A. He just never got the chance to go back to St. Louis.
All right. So, yeah. I mean, you can crack yours. Mine's already cracked.
Get this party going.
So I would like to lead off with a discussion.
What do you got?
So it's perfect that somebody's not here. But let's talk about the real, fucking fallen off Phils.
You know-
39 and 38, just like, I mean, as above 500 as you can be. 6.5 games out of first now. They're one game behind in the wild card, behind Milwaukee and Colorado. They're 1-9 in their last 10. They have a 7-game losing streak. They've been bad.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, I mean, the pitching staff is banged up, but on the other side, I mean, they're not producing offensively.
No, they're not. They're getting booed.
Yeah,
Like, everyone's getting booed there. I mean,
Bryce Harper the last couple of years hasn't been the 300 average guy, but
they
he's...
lost. They lost the series. They got swept by the Marlins.
Oh, God. But it's tough. I mean, they're a team that's got a lot of star power on it. Especially, I mean, they had such a big offseason. They were supposed to come in and kind of steamroll that division, and they've been stumbling.
Yeah.
They're a team I think we're going to see make a lot of moves towards as the deadline gets closer to shore up that pitching staff, because they're giving up 6-7 runs every game, and the offense just isn't producing enough to make up for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's if it's a Gabe Kapler issue. Like, I mean, granted, it's from Kyle and his dad, but like, it just seems to be like a lot of like disdain for Kapler and his managing style.
That started last season. I mean, the first couple weeks he was in there, they were already calling for him to get fired, and
I mean,
it's tough because, I mean, I believe this is his first managing gig. I don't think he was a manager anywhere else. And he's got a team that last year I think overperformed a bit, and then they added a bunch of stars this year. So I think there's just been some growing pains through the middle of the season.
Right, but that's just it. Like, that's the thing too. Like, their pitching didn't get necessarily like leaps and bounds better, but their hitting ability did, and it's not producing like consistently.
No, it's not.
And like, there's been high points in the year, but it hasn't been consistent. I mean, Harper hasn't shown the power numbers that he's been capable of doing. Realmuto hasn't been. I mean, Jay Bruce has been a good addition since he came over with a streaky, really hot start. But I mean, like, Franco is not doing what he's supposed to be doing with the bat.
Franco looks bad.
Odubel Herrera got suspended indefinitely. Yeah, domestic violence.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's not playing, so they don't even have a real center fielder right now.
That's why,
and the team has fallen apart since McCutchen went down. Ever since McCutchen went down, they seem to be losing, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, now 9 out of 10. It's like
it's tough because, I mean, you just said it. I mean, that team has the lineup to go out and score that 6 runs. I think it's deflating that the pitching is just constantly letting them. Even if Nola goes out and throws 7 scoreless, the bullpen giving up 6 runs in those 3 innings.
Well, and the thing too is Nola has not been good this year.
Yeah,
he's been subpar. Arrieta has not been that great. Pivetta started off bad, came out from the minors, was pitching lights out, and now he's kind of going back to that Pivetta form.
Yeah,
it's just been real, like, kind of just ugly to watch. I mean,
right.
They're giving up home runs to guys that don't hit home runs, and really, I mean, like, a few shining spots in their team, despite being terrible with the bat. I think there's a huge case for Franco to be maybe potentially third base Gold Glove this year. He's making a lot of great defensive plays, but
he's a great defensive player.
But the problem is that, and the problem is he came out hitting. He came out as a power hitter, and now he's not a power hitter anymore. And on a team that needs to start producing runs, every bat matters. So it's like, what do? Like, you substitute okay defense for an okay bat instead of good defense and a bad bat? Like, what do you do?
They're a team I think we're going to see light up the trade deadline. They're going to move because they're kind of built for. They are built for the future. They have young guys locked up, but this is a team built for now. I mean, the divisions.
I think it's
open.
I think the prospects they have up are untouchable.
Yeah,
it's all the minor
that AAA
leagues.
team's going to be moving.
Yeah, and then like Franco will be on the market. I mean, unfortunately, Odubel would have been, but now with that, who knows? But I mean, maybe even somebody like Cesar Hernandez could be potentially movable. Arrieta might be movable.
Anybody not Nola, Harper, Hoskins, and Realmuto.
Well, and Segura.
Even still, I mean, I don't think they would move him, but I think for the right package, if they got
Yeah.
The pitching return, I could see it happening.
Right, yeah. But, yeah, like Nishik's been banged up. Sir Anthony got banged up. I mean,
They're hurt. The bullpen's decimated.
But the thing, too, is like even when the bullpen wasn't hurt, they weren't always pitching out well. I mean, like Sir Anthony had like a streak going for a while where it was like games where he gave up a home run, they won, and games he didn't, they lost. Like, that was a thing. Like,
just come out, lob one out. There you go.
Yeah, soft. All right, we're good. But, yeah, I don't know.
The MLB's been kind of surprising me this year. I mean, the Twins, I didn't think were going to be that great, and they're killing it.
And they're holding on, which is the thing. They're being consistent.
Yeah. To be honest, I thought with the way the Yankees got hurt, I saw them falling off, and this, the Scranton Yankees came up and not only kept afloat, but, I mean, held the division.
Yeah, they're doing really well.
And now you got your big guys coming back, and, all right, so Judge came back. He's been back for 3 games. He's 0 for 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you could take him and be like, all right, hey, listen, we don't need you to play. We were winning games without you here. We don't need to rush you back. You can take your time and get back to form. They could DH it, whatever they got to do. But this Yankees team, to me, they look scary.
Yeah, and the Red Sox are starting to get back to form.
Yeah.
A little bit here and there, like just a little bit by little bit. And
they're scoring more runs, but they're still losing games. That's what's hurting them.
But they're 7-3 in their last 10. They have lost 2 in a row, but their run differential has climbed. They're going up against not the best White Sox team.
The Red Sox had a cushy schedule because I know the Yankees' last 2 series, it was Tampa and then Houston.
Yeah,
and they
2 out of 3 against Houston.
They took 2 out of 3 from Houston, and I think they swept Tampa.
Yeah,
so I mean,
they're 8-2 in their last 10, so that's probably right because one of those is a Houston loss.
So this is a team. I mean, and I still think they're going to be big time buyers at the deadline. They're going to go and add one of those big name pitching pieces.
Houston's been shaky in their last 10 too. They're 3-7 in their last 10.
Houston's hurt though too. They're missing a couple of big pieces, but that's a team. Once everyone's back, they'll win. 20 out of 25.
But the swap of it too, like we talked about with Philly, is Philly is playing so poorly at a time when Atlanta's starting to hit their stride, and it's just causing the gap. I mean, it's full game swings when they're not playing each other, and that's huge. Like losing to the Braves when you're playing them, obviously it's going to be a game thing, but they're losing and the Braves are winning, and when the Braves lose, the Phillies seem to also lose. Like it, like if the Phillies win, the Braves win, so it doesn't really ever
nothing changes.
Yeah, I mean the Dodgers just keep winning. And Colorado just falls.
I tell you, the Dodgers, as good as they're playing, that team has no intimidation to me.
No,
because they're always that team that dominates the regular season, and then
they're like the Chargers in the NFL, or it's
but I can't even compare them. I mean, because I can't remember a time where the Chargers dominated a season.
Yeah,
what I mean? Like the Dodgers come in and just dominate through and they've done it at least the last 2 years, but I mean, and I know they went to the World Series, but they just can't seem to get it done in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I look at them and I'm like, I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know if it's because they coast through at the. I don't know.
Well, they also don't. I mean, outside of Colorado, they don't really play in that difficult of a division. The Giants haven't been good since their World Series runs. The Padres haven't been good in a long time. Arizona hasn't been. I mean, they've been average, but they haven't been. Yeah. And they're still 15 games out. I mean, Colorado's been good, but not Dodgers good, and it helps to have one of the best pitchers in baseball. Yeah. And then they finally have some prospects coming up and playing well. But like you said, I think the thing is when it comes to the World Series, they kind of lack, or the playoffs, they kind of lack I'm going to go out there and take the game over with my bat guy, the Mike Trout. And it's a shame because people like Mike Trout. And people like Bryce Harper, the Nationals were another team, kind of like the Dodgers, dominate the regular season. But
snake bit.
Right, but Mike Trout's probably the best example of it. But Machado when he was in Baltimore, it's just these players that they can change the game with one swing of the bat, and they're never in the playoffs to do it.
I hate so much that Trout re-signed with the Angels. I
know you do.
I hate it only because it's. I guess it's me just being a selfish fan. As much as I love the game, I want to see the best player in the game
playing
doing
the best
it in the
games
postseason.
In the world. Yeah.
You want to see him in the have all those big time plays. I mean, not only offensive, he's such a good defensive player. on the base paths. He's
He's
arguably
lethal in every aspect of the game.
He's on pace to be the best player we've ever seen in the history of
He
baseball.
might be the best player. I mean, Kyle said the other day that he thinks Mike Trout's better than Ken Griffey Jr. now, and that's saying something because Kyle's a huge homer for the kid. And I mean,
complete player. I can agree with that.
Yeah,
as a complete player.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't think that Trout has the power numbers that Ken Griffey Jr. had, but I think he's at least equal defensively. I think he's a better base runner, and I think
faster.
he's got more patience at the plate, and he's got a thicker neck, which that's everything.
I hate when I saw that he's re-signed with the Angels. I was like, damn, man. As a fan, it was just we're never gonna see him unless somehow that team turns it around within the next couple years. Trout's gonna be wasted to the fans.
Yeah,
I want to see him in a World Series. Coming up with when he's the go-ahead run, because he's the guy that'll come up and give you that postseason moment. That the Aaron Boone home run, and then they robbed us of it.
Did you see the Cam Newton thing?
Yeah, it's very funny.
What did you think of that? I mean, for those of you who didn't hear it, Cam Newton got on a plane with a coach ticket, which, how did that even happen, first of all? But he wanted to fly first class, so he offered a first class member $1,500 to sit first class and have him go sit and coach, and the guy denied him. So,
well, I tell you what, I mean, I don't know the details of this flight, but first class tickets are more than $1,500.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't know the flight, but they're more than that. So I could see the guy being like, "Nah, I paid $5,000 for this ticket."
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if it's like, they say like first class, but I'm wondering if maybe it's not first class, like maybe it was like a business class. You know what I'm saying? Because like those aren't wicked more expensive.
I can tell you that Cam does not fit in coach.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
he's like 6'6". He's huge. Hope that guy likes tasting his own knees.
Yeah, I'm really mad that Kyle decided to go play softball because there's a lot of NBA stuff that I wanted him to talk about with the draft, but he's not here, so fuck him.
Well, hey, man, Pels.
Yeah, they got Zion. Got Zion and some other picks. They're going to be a young team, very young.
It's funny. I could bring it up now once I find it. I posted a Twitter poll, and it related to my New Orleans Pelicans.
Pels.
All day, every day. So as soon as I got to pull it up here. So, we actually had a pretty good response. So I asked, will the Pelicans make the playoffs next year? So the options were they would be a 1 to 4 seed, 5 to 8 seed, they miss the playoffs, or they're a lottery team again.
Well, missing the playoffs makes you a lottery team.
Well, I mean,
but you mean like one
lottery
of the worst
team
in the
is
league?
what they were.
You mean like worst in the league kind of thing?
Yeah. So 1 to 4 seed got 3% of the vote. Lottery team, bottom feeder, that was 19%. Missed the playoffs was 33%, but 45% believe 5 to 8 seed. And we had 60 votes.
I could see 5 to 8.
Yeah, that's where I
had
him in like the 7-8 range.
I could see him going 5-6. I mean, it's all about how the team plays. I mean, if like Lonzo goes out there and so at this point, like Lonzo needs to be the leader of the team. I mean, like Randall and Holiday are the leaders of the team, but
Randall's out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so Holiday is the leader of the team, but like Ball is the ball handler.
Yeah,
pun intended. Like he needs to be out there. He needs to, he's not. Like he went out. He had an okay rookie year, like an average rookie year. It seemed disappointing for where he was drafted, but it was an average rookie year. Then LeBron came in, and he was no longer the guy on the team. So he needs to be able to find that thrive and that passion to be the leader on the team, because they're all in the same boat. Holiday's the oldest, but for the starters, but outside of that, I mean, and Ingram is not the youngest, but he's not old. But Lonzo Ball needs to go out there and he needs to be, he has the potential to be the second biggest star on that team, and he needs to do it.
That's the thing. I think that Lonzo's got to come in and be a leader without being the face.
Right.
Because Zion's going to be the big draw, just with all the hype coming in. And so, I mean, Lonzo's got to be able to come in and, like I said, be the leader of the team, and Zion's the face. He's not going to be the guy putting people in the seats. people are not going to go to watch Lonzo Ball.
Right.
You know, they're going to go to watch Zion.
Right. And that was kind of like the whole Drew Holiday and Julius Randle thing with Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And they stepped up. They were the faces of it, especially after he got hurt. But Anthony Davis put the butts in the seats.
Yeah.
And they helped the team win the games they did win. So.
I got to get a new Pels shirt now.
Zion?
You know, I thought that, but I can't do that. I might go Drew Holiday.
Yeah, Drew Holiday would be cool. Or Omar Asik.
If I could find, I looked when I tried to buy my first one. They were only selling his jersey, and it was like $100. And I was like, no way.
You can make a custom one. It's like $10 more.
Make a custom Omar C jersey.
Get the wrong number on there.
He was 37, right?
Omar Moxik. That'd be good. So what do you?
Excuse me.
There's a lot of like now that the camps are starting up and you know we're gonna get into this kind of like second wave of free agency soon. You know all these guys that didn't sign yet. And there's still some good names out there and whatnot. But like things are starting to come out now that the rookie classes are set and the major free agency period's over and retirement people that you know like kind of retire late in the season have retired. There's a lot of people that have the Giants doing really, really bad this year. Like still doing real poor. You know a lot of like so like I want to get your take on what you think about the NFC East as a whole. And specifically I want to get what your take is like what do you think the Giants like what do you think that they're like realistically what do you think the best season they could have is and realistically what's the worst season they could have and do you think we see is Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we see him before the bye week?
I don't. I think at best this year the Giants are an 8-8 team. And it's not because they're going to play poorly. I think it's just offensively, I mean, you lost Odell Beckham Jr., who to me, I mean, is a top 5 receiver in the NFL. I mean, this narrative that I've seen online and that losing Odell's going to open up the Giants' offense, I think is ridiculous. I mean, Odell is a certified star. I mean, there's no way around that.
Right.
Will it open up things for certain players? Yes. I think Evan Ingram will this will be like his breakout season. I mean, he had a great rookie year and last year slumped, but I think he'll have a great year. I love Sterling Shepard. I don't know if he's a number one. I don't think that he is.
Well, he doesn't have to be.
But I don't think Golden Tate's number one either.
No, but
Eli's always played his best football when he has a receiver that can go up and get the ball.
And I think the Giants, I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to implement a more New Orleans style of offense when they have Jimmy Graham.
A spread.
Make Ingram the go down the field and get the ball guy, but in the wide receiver position, and then have another tight end be a tight end, and then use Shepard and Shepard kind of be like your deep route guy, and Tate be your short route guy.
This season for me is going to be the prove it year for Pat Shurmur, because he's supposed to be this big time offensive minded coach, and he's going to have to get creative this year. He's going to have to get creative with confusing defenses. I mean, we have Saquon Barkley, who is one of the best backs in the league, but again, the defense is not there. I mean, there's pieces, but it's not where it needs to be. So to me, the Giants are at best 8-8. Can they surprise people and be 10-6? Sure. I don't think it'll happen, but
I feel like I think I kind of agree with the 8-8 thing. I think anything above 8-8 is more.
It's
based
exceeding
off of
expectation.
I think it's more based off how the other teams in the division
Exactly.
play. I mean, granted, the NFC East is always a who knows who's going to win these games type of thing, but like if the Eagles and the Cowboys both come out with stubbed toes and don't play well, and the Giants, win 3 out of those 4 games, that could be 10.
We're gonna see the Cowboys this season. I think the Cowboys this year, it's their division to lose. Coming into the year, I mean, I think they have the strongest defense, and if the offense rolls how it did at the end of last year, they're going to be a tough team to beat. With that said, I think that window is only going to be a couple years long because Amari Cooper is going to get paid. You got Zeke coming up. Prescott wants big time money. there's
They just
guys.
paid DeMarcus Lawrence.
There's other guys on the defensive side coming up, so that team's not going to be together for much longer.
Right.
So I think we're going to see them go all in these next couple of years to try and get that deep playoff push.
Yeah.
That they haven't had since the 90s.
And the thing too is more so less about the Redskins and the Giants, more about the Eagles and the Cowboys. They have to play the NFC North this year.
Yeah.
Which, even if the Bears have a bad year offensively, the defense is still going to be really good. Even if Kirk Cousins shits the bed, the defense is still going to be really good. And even if the defense in Green Bay doesn't hold up to what it's, to standard, they're still going to be Aaron Rodgers. And the Lions have been improving, and Matt Patricia, who you don't know what you're going to get out of him. I mean,
the Lions are always a tough beat.
Yeah, they're weird. They're a weird team.
Beat.
They play you like they ramp it up like a little bit better than what they should be every single game.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also always play down to them. Every team always does.
Yeah, and
it's odd. But like those are not. None of those 4 games are gimme wins.
Nope,
for any of those teams in the NFC East, especially the Cowboys and the Eagles. But on top of that too, don't you guys also play the AFC East this year too, don't you?
Yep. So
the Eagles and the Cowboys have to play the Patriots. The Eagles and the Cowboys are going to have to play good defenses in the Jets and the Bills. And we've seen this, when Zeke isn't running well, we've seen the stagnant offense in...
That offense is completely contingent on Zeke.
Yeah, it is. No, 100%. And the Dolphins, who knows? Like, sometimes they win by 30. Sometimes, but I think the Cowboys, until it shows to be proven, I think the Cowboys are still the team to beat. But I got to tell you, if Wentz stays healthy...
If Wentz stays healthy, he's no doubt the best quarterback in that division.
But the thing with me is, if he stays healthy, it's not Wentz that is going to be the best thing on the team. It's going to be the running game. Because they've got Jordan Howard and they still have Darren Sproles who can catch passes out of the backfield. And the Eagles they'll run downhill and then they'll throw. And I don't know.
It's tough. I think if the Cowboys give Dak the contract, at least that has kind of been detailed,
mm-hmm.
they're going to be shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, Prescott's he's a game managing quarterback, but he's not worth $34 million a year.
No,
he just isn't. I mean that type of number. I know everything's inflated, but that's for that upper echelon.
Well,
quarterback.
If they think that's who their franchise quarterback is for the future, then you do what you got to do to keep him. But my thing is like I wouldn't be giving somebody that. It has nothing to do with the amount of touchdowns that he throws or the yards. For me, it has everything to do with the ball security. You can't give somebody $34 million a year that's fumbling the football in the pocket and not looking where he's going.
Yeah.
And just throwing stupid picks. Like, that's what you can't do. And, like if he goes out there and he time manages the game and gives the ball to Zeke and makes the check down options and they win, games 21-18 and then they win a game 24-21 and they finish the season out at 11-5, even if they, it doesn't matter how you win. What matters is that you won.
Yeah.
But if those 5 games are because, the red zone, he had a fumble and then threw a stupid pick and he's got to work on his ball security more than anything else. I don't give a shit about his downfield throwing. He needs to work on his ball security. We've seen quarterbacks in the past have success without having the down the field throw. I mean, there was a lot of speculation that Peyton Manning was going to be a down the field guy because he didn't have the arm strength. Granted, he fixed that and he became a deep ball threat, but...
Well, you see it now with Brady.
Yeah.
Brady doesn't throw downfield.
No.
When he does, it's bad.
Yeah, Brady's a mid-range and work the sidelines.
Yeah.
Brady will, Brady is... He's so good at the sideline passes because he knows... If you ever watch Brady throw a sideline pass, it's either right in the pocket or it's overthrown.
Yeah.
It's never, ever short. He never puts the ball where the other team's going to go get it.
Yeah.
And so on the deep balls, that's why he loves those sideline passes. With Gronk, it was easier to throw a seam because all you had to do was throw it in an 8-foot radius and he could get it.
Huge.
But now that option's gone. So it's going to be interesting to see what Brady does. But there's a lot of weird shit going on. A lot of things at the NFL I'm not really sold on this season yet.
I still think that...
I'm not sold on the Bears running away with the NFC North again.
I don't think they run away with it, but I still think they'll compete for it. I mean, you can never count out the Packers. No matter what they do, you can never count them out.
And the Packers got a lot better.
Yeah.
Through free agency
spent money.
and the draft. And they've then just like the Bears finally followed the mantra of the rest of the NFL, which was
It only took 80 years.
spend some money. Yeah, 100 years.
But
I could see the Bears winning the division. I could see the Bears missing the wild card by a game. Just because the Vikings and the Packers and another team stepping up. I'm not sold on the Seahawks being what they were last year. I don't think they're going to be...
Seahawks are such a hard team to like.
Right. I don't think they're going to be bad, but I think the 49ers are going to be better. They're going to have Garoppolo back, and I'm not saying I know you have your concerns about him and your hesitations, but I mean he definitely makes the team better. Like the team's going to be better with him. Come on.
CJ Beathard, baby.
Yeah. Nick Mullins was better. Nick Mullins.
Hey, that guy came out and threw 5 touchdowns.
I'm not necessarily sold on the Chiefs still. I think
I need to know what happens with Tyreek Hill.
Even with Tyreek Hill though, the defense didn't really get better.
It didn't get better,
and they have yet to address the running game.
Any pass catching running back will be good there. Any of them.
But that's just but you can't only pass the football.
Well, they did it last year.
But they did. But it ended up in them not going to the Super Bowl.
Well,
I mean,
D Ford offsides.
But
because Damian Williams had a great game.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know that they would have beat the Rams.
If Hill is on the field, that's still it's.
But the Chargers got better on defense and offense.
They did,
and
but if Tyreek Hill is on the field, the Chiefs are at least an 11-win team. If he's not, I don't think they win 10 games. I think Tyreek is just such
he spreads the field too much.
He's such a dynamic player.
Yeah.
Him paired with Kelsey it's such a great combo. And I mean, Sammy Watkins is still effective. He's overpaid, but he's still effective.
The only thing in the NFL I'm sold on is the Patriots winning the AFC East.
Well, yeah.
And it's not because of the firepower of the Patriots. It's just that even with
division's bad.
Even with it's not that it's bad. It's just it's on the upswing. They're just not there yet.
Yeah.
I mean, as long the Patriots still have Belichick, Edelman, and Brady, so they're still gonna win games. And
I hate them.
But outside of that, I mean, there's this is the first time in a long time that you didn't go into a season being like the Steelers got the division.
No.
And honestly, I don't think that about the Ravens either. And I have serious hopes and reservations, or not reservations, but hopes and
doubt.
No, opposite of doubt.
Hope.
I guess, yeah. No, but not hope, but like predictions or whatever of the Browns doing something. Maybe not winning the division, but making a wild card. But there's all that speculation, and I mean, I guess I would say the Colts. Would be the next team after the Patriots that I would say is most likely to win their division.
I mean, Houston's another. I mean, the offensive line.
Because even the Chiefs with Tyreek Hill, I'm still not sold on them winning the division. I think they'll make the playoffs, but I'm not sold on them winning the division just because the Chargers got so much better all around. So
the Browns. I tell you, I know me and Kyle bicker about this, but I just don't see how a team like the Browns doesn't go out and have a great year. I know it can happen. I know Baker can take a step back and this and that, but I don't think we're going to see any antics out of Odell Beckham.
I don't think so either. I don't
think we see anything.
There was never ever issues with him at LSU when he was playing alongside the.
That's
teams.
what I mean. Him and Landry.
They're bros.
Together.
They don't
high school,
and they don't care about who gets the glory. They care about winning.
Yes, and that's what got me too.
Odell, Odell was such a diva on the Giants because the games where he wasn't getting his, they still weren't winning. So there was nothing for him to be happy about. He's not like Brown. Brown, it doesn't. The Steelers could have went 16-0 and
Brown
won the
didn't get
Super
his
Bowl.
1,500 yards.
Yeah, but if Brown didn't get 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns on 120 receptions, then he was going to be throwing hissy fits. It's just how that's not what Beckham. When the Giants win games, you don't see Beckham flipping out about if the Giants are up 21 and he doesn't get a pass thrown to him on a possession, you don't see Beckham flipping out.
I truly believe, and I know everything else points otherwise from what's been talked about him. I think everything was blown out with him in the media just because it's New York. This is a guy that was always team first. He was always team first. And the media around him, I mean, he did stupid things. There's no denying it. But he was always a team first guy. The locker room loved him, and for whatever reason, from the time he was drafted, the Giants front office did not care for him. They didn't for whatever. I don't understand. But
you're right. It's the media thing. I mean, like
it blew it up. And
Like-
this was a guy that he just wanted to go out and win. People were blowing up that he was criticizing Eli in interviews. Where if you look at what he was saying, besides the Lil Wayne interview was weird. I don't understand what that was. But for the most part, he would go out and say, "I want to beat him over the top. Give me a deep ball." He's not saying Eli can't throw deep. The team itself. It wasn't.
He's
built.
saying that they don't throw deep.
They don't do it.
Not that he can't. Not that he won't. It's just that
He's
they
saying
don't throw
they
deep.
don't do it. He's like, I want to beat these guys over the top. I'm fast enough. I can do. He's like, yeah, the quick slant is cool. I want to beat these guys deep.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do it. And even just, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, I was watching an interview with him with Cleveland. And they were asking him, where do you put your season stats next year? And I know it's not the exact quote, but he was pretty much irrelevant. He said, if I have 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns and we miss the playoffs, I did not have a good season. If I have 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns and we're in the playoffs, that's a better season. He's always been a team first guy, and I know it was always projected the other way, and I don't think he was ever given a fair fight in that, but he was always a team first guy.
Well, look at like a perfect example is like you said with the media thing. There was, I don't know, 20 articles in total that I think I saw about Clint Frazier's cleats and how much money they were and all this stuff. And who's he play for?
New York.
But how often do you hear anything about Nolan Arenado?
Exactly.
One of the best players in the game, but he plays in Colorado. No one gives a shit. Colorado's not news. But Clint Frazier can blow his nose and a weird colored booger can come out.
Absolutely.
And that's news in New York, and I 100% agree with you. Beckham gets a bad rep. Kyle and you will bicker on it because Kyle will always shit on any team against his team.
Yes.
That's all it is.
And on the same note, even...
And the reason I know, the reason that I know that Kyle will only shit on the Browns because they're in the division is because Kyle will defend the Patriots. He defends the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Kyle is. I've said this to him, and he gets mad at it. To me, Kyle is a hipster for sports. he loves things people hate and hates things people love. Kyle can't get behind the Browns. Kyle can't get behind Josh Allen.
I was going to say he loves Josh Rosen.
No, Josh Allen. He can't get behind Josh Allen. He can't get behind. He couldn't get behind Lamar Jackson winning games last year in Baltimore. He can't get behind any of these things. But
keep in mind,
Patriots win the Super Bowl, they deserve it.
He's
Golden State. He was rooting for Golden State to win the championship the whole time. I don't like Toronto. Kyle, you loved Tracy McGrady. You loved Vince Carter. Nobody you hated has ever played for the Raptors. I'm just not a Raptors fan. You love Kawhi Leonard. Like it's just he's a hipster for sports.
It's I can understand why he's not caring about I mean, it's a division team, but this was a team we saw play great football last year. I know that the record may not reflect it, but Baker Mayfield balled out last year. He played great. He had, it took a little while for him to build the chemistry with Landry. Nick Chubb, if he played the whole season, probably would have had 1,300 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't take over as a starter, I don't think, till week 8, and he finished with 996 yards. Nick Chubb is posed to be a stud in this league. Now you add Kareem Hunt. You add Odell Beckham. That's 2 all-pro players. Now, I understand there is, of course, a possibility that Baker goes out and takes a step back. I don't think it happens because I don't think he's a quarterback that takes over the game. I think he's extremely effective and knows how to use his weapons. You're adding 2 all-pro players to a team that is already very good.
They had 3 losses last year by less than a field goal or less.
Yeah, they went to overtime a lot.
Yeah, and they tied.
This is a team I think that's going to come out and live up to that expectation. That's why I've told Kyle, I've told Ken, I've said it on the show. I think the Steelers are a 10-6 team. I think the Browns win more than 10 games.
You know what's funny about their overtime record last year? They went 1-1-1.
That's hilarious.
Because they tied against the Steelers.
The Ravens, Lamar Jackson, I don't think is going to amount to a good NFL quarterback. I think he's too run first. Unless, for whatever reason, he can develop passing accuracy, he's going to be a flash-in-the-pan guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or he'll be like a gadget
Or he'll
tight
get
quarterback. You know, the Bengals, dumpster fire.
Yeah.
They're bad for the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers they're so tough to evaluate because James Conner had a great year, but then he got hurt, so who knows?
And he wasn't the same after.
Yeah. And even to talk about like Le'Veon Bell, you know, James Conner had a great year. Bell wasn't there. They missed the playoffs. So I mean,
right? No, I know what you're saying.
you know, like Bell wasn't there. They missed the playoffs.
And I'm not saying, and I think that irregardless of what happens this year, good or bad, I think that Juju is going to be a great receiver in this league for a long
I think
time.
Juju's great,
But does he take a step back, having to adjust to being the singular receiver on that team? You're going from being the best 1-2 punch in all of football, arguably the best 1-2 punch in receiving in football, to being just you in a division where there's good defenses. I mean,
and good corners.
Yeah, there's good corners.
Good corners.
The Ravens and the Browns are both have good defenses.
Yeah.
And without having that guaranteed guy, I mean, the next best option in the passing game is Vance Mcdonald. And
Who to me is like an average tight end.
He's good, but he's good because he's hard to bring down and he has wiggle for a big tight end. But like, he's not the guy he's not going out and making the one-handed catch.
No.
And he's not overly fast. So I mean, he can be covered by a linebacker.
It's tough. I just see. And again, I know I don't want to keep shitting on Kyle, but
No.
you know, we've argued on the show, whatever Brown was to the Steelers, you're talking about a guy that last season, did he have 1,500 yards, and he had 15 touchdowns. That offensive production is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think, you know, week 1 and 2, I think Juju stumbles a bit till he adjusts to the. But I'm sorry, you're missing your offensive focal point.
Points. Because Bell's gone too.
Well,
even though he was gone last year, but like you said, they missed the
missed
playoffs without him. So obviously, Bell being gone did make a difference. Yeah, the defense wasn't great, and yada. But if Bell was there, you're going to tell me that the Steelers don't win at least 3 more games because of Bell. You know what I'm saying?
Think so.
The guy can easily put 100 on the board.
Yeah,
in terms of yards. I mean,
and it's I think James Conner is a very talented back. I'm not saying he isn't, but I think he surprised a lot of people, and he kind of. You know, there wasn't a lot on him, and he surprised people. So I think coming into this year, we'll see him not have. I still think he'll be an explosive back with good game, but I don't think he'll have the same season.
I mean, and the Steelers kind of do this thing this year too, which is concerning to me. Is that they kind of do a on-off thing. So like, they start off the season Patriots and Seahawks on the road, and then at home against the Seahawks. Then they play the 49ers, easier game, and then they play the Bengals. But then they play the Ravens and the Chargers. Then they play the Dolphins. But then they play the Colts and the Rams. Then it's the Browns. It's 3 tough games right there. Yeah. Then they get a day off with the Bengals. Then it's the Browns. Then it's the Cardinals. Then they get to take a little bit more of a rest with the Bills and the Jets. And then it's the Ravens. So it's like they don't have that easy stretch of a schedule.
Even those Bengals games, though, because you know how the Steelers play.
Yep. I do. Yep.
You know, it's
and with the notion of how the Steelers tend to play against the Bengals, they host the Colts, host the Rams, then they go on the road to Baltimore, and then on the road to Bengals and Cincinnati, and they lose the game in Cincinnati, or they win the game in Cincinnati most of the time.
Yeah.
So that'll be their saving grace. But on the flip side of it, if they lose the road game, that means it goes Patriots, Seahawks, 49ers, home game to the Bengals, which they traditionally lose. And then Ravens, Chargers. So it's like 6. There's no gimme game in those 6 games.
That's what I mean. It's
and the Steelers defense did get better, but did they incorporate enough depth defensively to be able to contain Lamar Jackson and cover the just quick over the middle pass to a receiver 10 yards down the field? Because Lamar Jackson doesn't need accuracy to hit 10 yards down the field.
Well, he doesn't have a receiver anyway.
Well, they got what's his face there? Who they draft?
Did they draft a receiver? I couldn't name a wide receiver on the Ravens. They all left. Really, Crabtree's gone.
Yeah.
John Ross is gone. I couldn't name a receiver there. Is their running back still Gus Edwards?
They picked Marquise Brown with their first round pick.
That's right.
Now he's definitely gonna. He's more of a blocker. but he's got speed. So I mean,
I think the Ravens are going to just try and build their team as a fast offense. It may take another year or so, but they're going to build a fast offense.
They're trying to mimic. They're trying to like put their own tweak on the Chiefs.
But I see them almost running like a college type off, where it's just fast paced. You're going to see a lot of hurry up. You're going to see a lot of quick outs, quick slants, quick swing passes, and then Lamar's going to run. We're not going to see a lot of. I don't think you're going to see a ton of play action. They'll mix it in to keep defenses guessing, but you're not going to see a lot of long offensive plays. It's going to be that fast paced, no huddle, up to the line, keep the defense, out of breath.
Yeah.
Because if they try and slow Lamar down, he's not going to play well.
Yeah.
He's just not that quarterback.
But he's got the speed though, where it's like you can't just be like, all right, we're going to sit back, we're going to send 4 and sit back in coverage, because you can't trap him.
Yeah.
You're gonna gas yourself out trying to contain it.
That's what I mean, and that's what they're gonna keep their foot on the gas and keep defenses coming at them,
right?
And then just have Lamar run around them.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, and like much to the difference of Kyle and Kendall, but not going into the mass territory of hating my team. But like I recognize like the Bears have a great defense still. Yeah, they lost Amos, but they added HaHa Clinton Dix. They added a better ball.
He signed with the Bears.
HaHa Clinton Dix.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they got a 1-year deal for him.
I really wanted him.
He went. He's like, I'm going to win a ring. It's like I'm gonna go try to win a ring, and then I'm gonna go seek out my major deal. But he went. He played well with the Redskins. He was good with the Packers.
He's great.
He wasn't a top safety, but he has top safety potential. He's
Yeah.
still young, and who knows? I mean, maybe he plays really well in the system, and the Bears offer him big money. They still have the ability to offer some big money because Mitch is only going into year 3.
Yeah.
Tariq Cohen's not getting paid yet. They're
not going to pay him.
No, they're not. Next man up.
Next man up.
Next man up. They drafted the running back there.
That's it. He's gonna have a great year.
He's gonna have a great 3 years, and then next man up. But so the Bears still have a great defense. I mean, a lot is gonna rely on Mitch and his ball distribution. But they didn't lose any offensive talent. I mean, they lost Jordan Howard, but they did gain a running back.
They also didn't use Jordan Howard,
right? And they gained a running back. The Bears are good at drafting mid round running backs, or like middle of the pack running backs in the 3 to 6 range. So, but like the Packers spent money and they got a lot better defensively, and they have Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings went out and spent some money. They retained Barr, and they still have a great defense. The Lions, like we said, are never an easy out. So it's like, could I see the Bears going this season? Could I see them running into the season and going 13-3? Absolutely. Could I see them stumbling and going 9-7? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think Trubisky's just going to keep continuing to grow. I mean, we saw games last year where, he looked like the best player on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other games where he didn't, but he shows flashes of just pure greatness.
And his whole career up to this point, granted it's only 2 years, could be summarized by his first start against the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football, where he went out, he threw a touchdown, he led him down the field, he brought him back, he made some bonehead moves, he did some great things, and then he sealed the game off with a bad throw with a pick.
Yeah.
And it's like that has pretty much summed up his season. It's just that instead of being like that every game, he just has the games where he's either great or he's bad.
Yeah.
My key for Mitch Trubisky to have a great season and lead the Bears to another NFC North title is that he needs to continue to use his legs appropriately.
Yeah.
He can't become a run-first quarterback. He needs to run when he needs to run and stay in the pocket when he needs to stay in the pocket. Now, the Bears play the same schedule as the Packers and the Vikings with the exception of the seeding games. And so the Bears have a tougher schedule because they got to go out and they have to play the Saints, and then they have to go out, or they host the Saints, and then they have to go on the road and play the Rams, which are 2 hard games.
Yeah.
Whereas the Packers are going to play the 49ers? Who had the first pick this year? Who finished worse, 49ers or Cardinals? Cardinals were dead.
Cardinals had.
So the Packers will play, because the Packers finished 3rd, right? So the Packers will play the 49ers, and then they'll play the Panthers. Or no, the Falcons. I think the Falcons finished 3rd.
Yeah.
And then the Vikings will play the Falcons, and they'll play the Seahawks. Which, it's just like the Packers right now, with Aaron Rodgers being healthy and the additions they made, they're better than the Panthers. And they're better than, or the Falcons, and they're better than the 49ers. Like they are.
Yeah.
You know, whereas are the Bears better than the Rams? Last year
I think so.
Last year was a real boring but good game.
I think they're better than the Rams.
I think they're better than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But with that being said, they got to play all three of those teams that we talked about have to play the AFC West.
Yeah.
You know, and the Bears have they drew a very fortunate schedule that they have to take advantage of this year, and that when they go and play the AFC West this year, tell me how they lucked out with this. They play the Broncos and the Raiders on the road. They host the Chargers and the Chiefs. Doesn't get much better than that.
That's big.
And then when you go and you play they play the East, it's a swap thing. So they host the Giants and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then they play in Philadelphia
Philly.
and Washington, and they're historically very bad in both those stadiums. Whenever they play the Redskins, it's always the whoever has the ball last mentality.
Yeah.
Which has always boasted well for both teams because of good running games. But like now, it's like washed up Adrian Peterson against a really good run defense and no established running back versus, you know. So
I'm interested to see who ends up being like the cap casualties during camp, because I mean, I haven't looked at the list yet to see like who's potential, but you always see like, you know, the veteran guys that get cut and move, and I love that part of the offseason
because they get picked up by somebody, and not always, but sometimes they make a good impact.
Because well, now you're playing with that chip that, you know, you cut me, I'm gonna make you pay, and I always like to see that.
I have one here. I have a list right here that was posted recently.
Well,
it's a cap casualty for all 32 teams. Potential cap casualty.
You want to look at it after break?
What do you mean?
Because we're about break time.
Oh. Yeah. So, we'll go to break. We'll come back and we'll look at it after break. I mean, some of these guys are going to be people where, you know, I'll skip certain ones and we'll go from, you know, because like I'm looking at right now, the Jets have an offensive tackle. Like, we probably don't know who he is.
Don't care.
Right.
Cut him.
But there's some big names on here that
there always is.
Very see other teams picking up. And
there always is.
We'll do that, and we'll talk about where we could see them potentially landing.
Yeah.
Due to cap space. So I'll pull that up, and I'll pull up cap space for other teams. So, but until then, drink a beer, crack a cold one, itch your balls or your vagina. We're not discriminate here. And we'll see you in 120 seconds.
35 minutes.
All right.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Can you hear us now?
There you go.
Oh, here we go. All right. Rita with some technical difficulties. She's doing a bang-up job over there, though.
She's doing a great job. Still learning on the fly, so.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by Mach.
Yeah.
See, I didn't do the thing for you.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure that's 8.
It would make sense if it's in a clockwise rotation. Talk. Nope, I don't hear anything. Try 9. Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry,
Oh, and you turned it off halfway through your words.
Sorry.
Peter.
All right, so before we went to break, we talked about Machcine had brought up the cap casualties.
Casualties.
So I brought up a list of potential salary cap casualties for all 32 teams. And this is old. Never mind. Can't go off this because the first person on here is Nick Foles.
So, as you find a new one, the other night, I think this was Friday night, I had to go to my sister's dance recital, but then afterwards, I get back to Marissa's house. I'm like getting ready to go to bed, and she calls me like, "Hey, we're going to Los Mariachis. I'm in the driveway. Let's go." All right. So I get in the car. Now we show up like a half an hour before like last call. So I was ordering Coronas 2 at a time. The lady's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Can you bring 2 Coronas?" And she's like, yeah." So that, like, have you ever gotten to the point in a night? And granted,
yes.
It's well, what I mean, like, it's already like midnight, 1 a.m. ish, and I'm sitting there going, "All right, I'm at the point where I would like to drink a lot of beer, but I've now been cut off from said beers. We need to make a move here. Like, either we go back to the house and I keep or we got to make a decision." And I'm standing in the parking lot for like an hour and a half. No beers. I was pretty bummed about it. But I've learned a good system with the ordering 2 at a time. Because Saturday night we were at the PLAV in Meriden for a dinner, and I walk up to the bar and I was like, "Yeah, can I just have 2 Budweisers twice?" So I was doubling up, saved the trip back to the bar. Was working out well for me. Used all my cash, which I didn't mean to do. But what are you gonna do? How are we looking on that list? I've kind of vamped as long as I can go.
So, like, all the lists I'm finding are from, like, March and earlier.
Let's talk 2017 cap casualties.
Hey, could you see this guy being cut? Yep, I could. And let me tell you what.
Julius Thomas, traded.
Oh, here we go. 34 famous celebrities who starred as adult film stars. That, for some reason,
You're going to want to go ahead and bookmark that. Read that later.
We'll do that in the Tuesday podcast. Well, I mean, we could just go off this older list here and...
We'll doctor it up.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to have to kind of, like... I don't know if, like, some of these guys have already been cut. Like, that's the problem. Because some of these guys are kind of just, like, whatever type of guy. Yeah, so this guy is already not on the team anymore.
Tell you what.
It was Charles Clay from the Bills. He's a Cardinal.
He's terrible.
He's so bad.
Now, there is something we can discuss if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Michael Thomas's requests?
No.
He is asking to be paid $22 million per year as a wide receiver.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
I think that is absolutely absurd.
Isn't that like what Khalil Mack makes as an edge rusher?
That's quarterback money.
Yeah.
That's quarterback money.
Which, like, yeah, that's like what Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack make. And not that Michael Thomas doesn't change the game, but the guy putting the ball in his hands is more important than the guy catching it.
It's unbelievable because I think Michael Thomas is an elite receiver, but $22 million.
I think the thought process, though, behind it, and he's looking at it from a business standpoint, is that they're going to be getting into a point where Drew Brees is going to be retiring sooner rather than later, and they're either going to go with Bridgewater, who still isn't proven, or they're going to draft somebody. So
there'll be money to spend.
There'll be money to spend. Why not spend it on him?
I get it. I get that.
He's proven that he's worth spending money on, but that's a lot of money.
That's
a lot of money for a team that does have other holes.
That has other holes and other young guys coming up. I mean, I'm sorry. You have Kamara soon. I mean, he's what? Last year was his 3rd year? Kamara?
Yeah, I believe so.
So, Kamara's coming up on his extension. You have some defensive pieces. I can't see you give one receiver $22 million.
Yeah.
It to me, it's just absurd. And they have, like you said, other needs they need to address. I mean, the defensive side of the ball for New Orleans isn't solid by any means. I mean,
it's good pass rush, okay secondary.
Yeah, but they give up a lot of points. And lucky for them, I mean, Breeze can drop 42 on anybody. But I can't see a team doing it. I mean, I know the Giants gave Odell, I think it was 18, which to me again is high, but $22 million a year.
My thing with the receiver position versus like the defensive end position, because like we said, Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack are making, and Aaron Donald knows on edge rusher, but like they're making quarterback money. But my thought process on them versus a receiver is that if you hold a traditional like blitz and send, or not a blitz, but a traditional pass rush and send 4 people.
Yeah.
Like, Aaron Donald's a freak of nature. Like, he's the guy that gets to the quarterback versus everybody else. But, like, Khalil Mack's the guy that gets to the quarterback versus everybody else. Like, Akeem Hicks can do it, but all the other guys are just, they're hole pluggers that can get to the quarterback but don't regularly. They're hole pluggers that can hold their own in a one-on-one or still provide pressure in a 2-on-1 scenario. And then the other guy is the guy who gets to the quarterback, and they take advantage of that. The Khalil Macks, the Aaron Donalds, or even take advantage of the 2-on-1s and still find a way to do it. But like with a wide receiver, you're not going to win Super Bowls with 1-star wide receiver and nobody else. It's just not going to happen.
I forget the stat too, but I remember seeing it. I think it was around the time like Odell signed or whoever it was. But they said if you look over the last, even let's say 5 years. Look at the Super Bowl teams. None of them had the expensive wide receiver.
Which one? The Super Bowl teams?
Think about it.
Yeah, because that was pre-Alshon Jeffrey for the Eagles.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. They had Alshon Jeffrey. When they
Yeah,
won the Super Bowl.
but he's not making huge money.
Right, that's true. The Patriots, nobody makes huge money on the Patriots. And the last team before the Patriots was Denver? No. Patriots beat the Rams. Then the year before that the Eagles beat the Patriots.
Beat the Patriots.
The year before that was the
Could it have been the Broncos? No.
Yeah, I think it was. 'Cause I think the year before that was the Patriots beating the Falcons, and then the year
The
before
Patriots beating the Falcons was after the Broncos.
that, right? And I think the year before that was the Broncos beating
Yeah.
the Panthers.
Yeah. So it was,
But and
damn, fuck the Patriots.
But the thing is that, like, honestly though, anybody before that Patriots Falcons Super Bowl, no wide receivers were making
No.
quarterback money. I mean, they had Demaryius Thomas, but like,
But even look at both teams is what I'm saying. So like
Yeah.
that Broncos Panthers Super Bowl, there wasn't a high paid receiver. Demaryius wasn't getting paid yet.
no, I mean Julio Jones, but like he wasn't getting paid quarterback money. The Falcons,
But he
Patriots.
didn't have his big contract yet.
That's true too. Yeah.
You know, they had that money to spread, and I mean,
Yeah.
I can't see because the window too on a lot of these big time receivers, it's almost like cornerbacks where you're not gonna get
10 years of that
yeah,
production.
it's just
You're gonna get what teams go out and they look for the Richard Shermans, the Jimmy Smiths. They go out and they look for the Odells. They look
Yeah.
for the Antonio Browns, but teams should be going out and looking for the Champ Baileys and the Julian Edelmans, the people that go out and they put up above average stats at a consistent level for a decade. And then look at those teams. They win games because of it.
the Edelman thing I can counter only because we see the Patriots sign these guys that fit what they want. And not enough teams do that. The Patriots, if you look, have set the blueprint for success.
Mm-hmm.
They've said it. It's there.
Well, the problem, though, is they've set the blueprint for success, but there's one key element missing. Two key elements missing. It's a franchise quarterback that stays relatively healthy for a career, and a head coach that knows what he's doing and has control of his locker room.
That's the thing. And that's what I mean. They set the blueprint there, and they're the only team that sticks to it. They're the only
Because
team.
Win or loss, you don't see Belichick ever panic and fall out of game plan.
No.
He makes adjustments, but it's never something huge. I agree with you.
He never overcompensates.
No, he doesn't do the Andy Reid thing.
If he starts getting beat, he'll stick to he'll make his adjustments like you said, but he sticks to his plan. Until
Well,
I mean,
the
you know,
thing
late.
The thing
but
with like you see like the Mike Tomlins, the Andy Reids,
they're emotional.
even the blanking on his name, Seahawks,
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. But like you see these guys like they go in and they change up like okay like the passing game's not working. Let's try pounding the run and doing play action or whatever.
Belichick doesn't do it.
Belichick instead goes okay so the passing game's not working. I'm taking that guy out and putting this guy in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep plugging different guys in until it
works.
Because I know that this is what's going to beat this team.
And that's why that to me, I know we've had the argument on the show. That to me is why Belichick will forever be more important to that team than Brady. Brady's a big part. Don't get me wrong, but Belichick being the mastermind behind the scenes on the side is forever going to be more important.
We'll always disagree on the fact that I don't think either one of them would have the success without each other. And I don't mean that like Belichick has 6 rings like he have. I don't think he would have 3 without Brady. And the reason I say it is because like Belichick, if Belichick was an Andy Reid, it'd be different. But Belichick's a defensive-minded coach, so Tom Brady is essentially the offensive coach. Like Belichick is more of like the enforcer and like I'm in charge.
Yeah.
So people like Gray when he missed, he had that 300-yard
Jones
game,
Gray,
the
yeah.
250-yard game, and then
Missed the meeting and
practice
got
then,
cut
and never played again.
It's like unheard of.
Right, but like him, like that's a Belichick thing. Like that's not going to stand. We're not standing for that type of thing. But Brady, like Brady's always had a good defense and he's had a good offensive line. But the amount of games that Brady's won on his arm is not small.
I truly believe, and I'm trying to say this not as a person that hates the Patriots and Tom Brady. But I truly believe that if Brady did not have Belichick, he wouldn't have any. I think he would have 0 rings.
I think it depends who you replace Belichick with.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because like I think if you take Brady and you substitute him into that early 2000s Eagles offense,
Yeah, that's a fair.
I think he wins a ring with Andy Reid.
That's a fair counter.
Or
Well, Andy Reid's going to mismanage the time and call timeouts when they don't need to be called.
but I think that Brady's caliber.
I'm
you know what
being
saying?
funny.
All right, no, I know what you're saying, but like Brady with like maybe Brady with the Packers with Mike McCarthy could have done a little more.
See that too? I mean, how much of that team do you think was on McCarthy versus was on Rodgers?
In what aspect?
In the sense of like the team success. I mean, because Rodgers had a lot of games where it was like last minute drives. So like, how much do you put on McCarthy was a great coach, or Rodgers was just a great player that made McCarthy look good?
I think it's equal.
Okay, no, that's fair.
I don't think
Because McCarthy took all the rap.
That defense was so good for so long. Too.
They were.
That defense was really good.
But that's right. Like towards the end of last year, we saw McCarthy take the rap as it's your fault.
Right, and I think they succeeded equally together, and I think they're underachieving as an Aaron Rodgers led football team is deserved equally. All right, so Rebecca pulled up a Sporcle quiz. We're gonna do this. I believe the Red Baron's on his way. So, or he should be here soon. So we'll save this casualty thing for when he gets here.
I can't wait for when he shows up and says we haven't been on the air this whole time.
Oh my god! Oh, that would be so funny. So Rebecca pulled up this Sporcle quiz, which we'll hope it moves a little. She has way better typing speed than Kendall. So it's 10 minutes long. There's 40 things. It's a chain game though, which means if you answer one wrong, it's done. So we're gonna
now, Rebecca. Before we start, I don't know if this is within your realm. But are you able to put it onto the Facebook Live video? If not, it's okay. No, like
so no,
That's okay. That's okay.
That's all right. So it's can you pick the correct answers in this NFL chain game?
Sorry. That was fun. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's right. Just call your dad. It's fine. We're only on the show.
The answer to each question serves as the beginning of the following clue.
This is my favorite category on Jeopardy.
So if I'm understanding that correctly, so like if the answer is her mic's not on, but she said Bob Saget.
You have a microphone. Turn it on.
So if the answer was like we'll call it like I don't know Michael Thomas, then like the next answer might be Thomas.
I don't know if it's gonna be players or if it's like first down.
So do you want to try do you want to try to do this together, or do you want me to go in the other room and you take a stab at it by yourself?
Do this twice for 10 minutes? No, we'll do it together.
No, it's not 10 minutes though, because I think it's the chain game. So I think once you get it wrong, it's over.
There's a timer.
Right, but you only have 10 minutes.
I say we just do it together.
So let's start it.
Don't make these poor people listen to this twice.
Oh, okay, so who holds the NFL record for consecutive games started? It's Favor, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's Brett Favor.
Yeah. Fuck you, Ben McAdoo.
Who was
Falcons.
drafted by which team? The Falcons. Atlanta Falcons, Rebecca.
Atlanta Falcons.
Whose starting tight end in 2012 was Anthony Gonzalez, right?
Tony Gonzalez. Oh, yeah, Anthony.
Yeah. Tony Gonzalez. Who was second in all-time receptions behind Shannon Sharp.
All-time receptions.
Yeah, Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
It's got to be Jerry Rice. Who won how many Super Bowls?
It's got to be 3.
Yeah, he did win 6. With what team?
49ers.
San Francisco 49ers, yep.
The Reggie Wayne team?
No. Whose all-time leading rusher
is it Frank Gore?
It's got to be Frank Gore.
Oh, God, Kyle!
Well, hold on. What colleges
What college is up there?
Virginia Tech, I see.
Yep. That's the only one.
No, is it?
Yeah.
So it's got to be Virginia Tech. Nope. There's another one up there somewhere. All right, so we lost it.
Hold on, where?
Let's redo it.
There isn't another one.
There's got to be.
I think she clicked the wrong box.
All right, so let's start it over. All right. NFL consecutive game started as Brett Favre.
Favre. Oh, yeah, there is a Miami over there.
Which is drafted by Atlanta Falcons. And their starting tight end was Tony Gonzalez in 2012, who's behind Jerry Rice on all-time receptions. And Jerry Rice won 3 Super Bowls with the 49ers. whose all-time leading rusher is Frank Gore, who went to Miami.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Which is also the college of longest.
It's got to be
tenured
Reggie
cultural-
Wayne.
Yeah, it's got to be Reggie Wayne.
Oh, it's got to be 6.
1,000, which is half as many as former Chiefs offensive linemen. Oh man! All right, so let's see the players we got.
Could it be Marcus Allen? Or Will Shields?
I don't know. Was Marcus Allen an offensive lineman?
I don't know.
I thought Marcus Allen was a defensive lineman. It might be David Wilson.
No, he's a running back.
Oh yeah, he is right. So what are the options we got? Will Shields and I mean, I guess I think it's Will Shields. I think Marcus Allen's a defensive player. Yeah.
All right.
Who used to block for this running back from 1990?
Yep. No?
No, Jamal Lewis
He wasn't a running back?
from 93 to 97.
Who else could it be?
David Wilson?
No, he was more recent on the Giants.
Was he really?
Yeah, Flip Wilson.
I don't even know who that is. Oh, Marcus Allen. Who won a Super Bowl with... I don't think he was a Steeler.
I was gonna say, it's a pretty safe bet to be a Patriot, but
Yeah, who are the teams up there? The Redskins haven't won a Super Bowl.
Cardinals, Ravens,
Neither of those teams have won a Super Bowl recently.
Chiefs,
Chiefs haven't won one in a long time.
Raiders,
The Raiders haven't won one in a long time either.
Dolphins, nope.
Nope.
Patriots, Giants, Eagles, Steelers.
It's got to be Patriots or I was going to say or Steelers. All right, so we're not going to keep doing this because it's going to be
I
repetitive.
wanted a typing one.
All right, so pick a different.
We'll
quiz.
find a typing one.
Just hold on. No. Go to the right. You see where it says random sports or football quiz? Go down. Yep. Do football. Click football. We're not doing sports because it'll pop up with like rugby.
Yeah. Who's the best
Can
golfer?
you name the 51 players with the most combined goals?
Oh, we
and
went
assists?
football. We went
Oh, yeah.
football.
Yeah, do whatever one. We went to soccer. Oh, that's funny. I'm like, wait a minute. Can you name the Nope.
Messi.
Nope. Skip that one. We're not doing Swedish soccer. We do random sports. Whatever happens, happens. Can you name the athletes pictured sporting number 6? No. Oh, yeah, we played that one. We
I
played
see
that
it.
one.
I see ya.
All right, so let's see what we can do. There's 12 of them here. You can't see them, but
Ryan Howard.
Yep, Ryan Howard. Gross.
Kristaps.
Porzingis. So Kristaps.
Afrojack.
I don't know how to spell Porzingis.
Type Kristaps.
Porzingus.
Might be AS.
Guas? Guas.
Next.
All right.
That's not LeBron James.
LeBron.
Oh, it has to go in order?
No. LeBron James. Julius Irving.
I'm sorry.
ER.
That's Afrojack.
Afrojack. Tyson Chandler.
Tyson Kidd.
Jay Cutler.
Yeah, I see Jay down there. I knew why Paul wanted to do this one.
Bill Russell.
Yep. Royals. Who's
These
on
hockey ones are really hard though. I'm not good with numbers.
6 on the... Is that a Yankees jersey?
No,
Or no,
Royals.
Detroit.
Detroit and Royals. Joe DiMaggio.
Just type Bob.
I don't even know who great Detroit Tigers greats are. I don't even know. Who's number 6 on the Royals? There's a Z in there.
Yeah, there's
It's
definitely...
not Porzingis.
Porzingis?
Porzingis. Oh my god. Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh, this is riveting radio. Oh, we got it. Is that an Orioles hat?
Yeah. Is that Ken Griffey Sr.?
On the Royals?
No, the Orioles.
No, that's a white guy.
Ken Griffey Sr. is white. No, Cal Ripken.
Oh, Cal Ripken.
That's what I meant.
I was like, oh.
Ed? Did you put in Ed? Ed Smith?
Did you type Ripken? Well, he's also batting without a helmet.
That's true.
But try Ripken. Bobby Fly. All right.
Try Fisher. Fisher. No C. Nah, not like Fisher. I'm trying to think of the capital of the Predators is. All right, new one. Mike Jones? Yeah. All right, Rebecca.
Just hit give up so we can see the answers here.
Nah, try to click it. Done.
There you go, Paul.
You want to do this one? You want me to do this
Oh,
one?
I see the Bruins bear.
All right, go ahead. All right, so Oilers.
Oh, you gotta click it.
Oh, oh my God! I Go to next. Go to next. We're gonna do this by process. Okay. Never mind. Nope. Fuck this. NCAA Division. This is terrible radio so far. I love it. Fuck the NCAA Division 1.
Yes, we're doing this one.
All right,
Sorry.
go ahead. All right. New York Knicks. Who played the most games for the New York Knicks?
Tony Esposito.
No, Patrick
Ewing.
Oakland Athletics. Go next, unless you know it, Mock. I don't know it.
Well, if we get it wrong, are we done?
No.
It might be Eckersley.
No, not for this one. Nope.
Oh,
Julius Erving.
Yeah, Julius Erving. Well, it's about time.
Kendall, was Tony Esposito a Ram? I don't think so. All right, well,
What
who
about
up there
Phil
was a good
Esposito?
Ram? Denver Nuggets would be
Edward Encarnacion.
No, Alex English. Denver Broncos is Elway. Blue Jays is Encarnacion.
No, I got it before you guys did.
Oh, okay. Esposito.
Yeah, spell Porzingis.
Ha! Tony Esposito.
Tony.
We're running 7 seconds. New Devil jerseys. Oh,
Phil!
Oh, my God. Oh, she does. She's just clicking. Oh, my God.
Eckersley, I think, was the Athletics one.
Was it? That makes sense. What are you drinking over there?
I got my Bon Voyage, which I'm about to drink in about 5 seconds.
You're going to slam that and savor the Keystone?
Oh, yeah. Totally. Well, actually,
so
it's about the
Sporcle
same.
thing is hard because it's not like. All right, can you find?
So it's gone all right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If I knew it was going to be like this, I would have just canceled.
No, it's fine. Rebecca did her best, and it was good. It was good. All right. 2000 A's. What does that even mean?
Can you name the sports things beginning with M in 2 minutes? All right.
Marlins.
Go. MLB team. Mets. NFL team.
The Miami.
No, it's gotta be a team.
M.
Oh my God. Well, just type in Magic because I feel like basketball is up there.
Yeah. NFL team. I'm really fucking blanking on this right now.
Oh my God. At least we got a minute and 30 seconds to kind of not embarrass ourselves.
You should pause it. Pause it, Rebecca.
M.
Pause it. We're gonna think of this one, and then when we come back, we'll restart the quiz and we'll hit it hard. But I'm really blanking on M, and it's kind of like making me really upset.
All right, well, let's go.
Let's go division by division.
Right. Seahawks, Rams, 49ers, Cardinals. Okay.
So,
Bears, Packers, Lions, Vikings.
Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, Redskins.
Panthers, Saints, Falcons,
Buccaneers.
Patriots, Jets, Bills, Dolphins. Bengals, Steelers, Browns, Ravens. Colts, Texans, Titans, Jaguars. Broncos,
Chiefs,
Chargers.
Go ahead and type Miami again.
She did, but it didn't show up for them.
Well, it showed up for Baz. Type it again. Oh, you're not typing.
I know how to type.
The Miamis.
There's no NFL. It's NHL.
Oh, NHL. Oh, wow. All right, so let's restart this quiz because we wasted a lot of time. Did anybody else not read it?
I
didn't.
know.
That might as well be 10 miles away. I can't read.
So, Rebecca, can you click give up and restart this quiz? All right. That was absolutely... Rebecca, don't start it without it. This isn't your quiz. No, stop it and restart it, Rebecca. This isn't... Can you, Kendall, control her.
Kendall, slap her.
Make her
Stop
drink more 7 p.m. coffee.
Stop it.
We heard about that. You made her drink coffee at 7 p.m.?
No, I didn't make her drink coffee. So work made coffee. Now, on Sunday, I'm usually the last one there. Mm-hmm. So someone on air made like a big pot of coffee. And you know me, I hate waste. So I started filling cups. So I ended up with like 6 cups of coffee. I chugged like 3.5 hours. And I was like, well, you have some.
Were you jittered?
I'll tell you what, I slept pretty poorly last night.
Oh, this was yesterday?
This was yesterday.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. All right, so let's start the quiz. On your mark, get set, go. All right, MLB team, Marlins. NHL team, Maple Leafs. NBA
Maple.
team,
Maple
LEAFS.
Leaves.
NBA team, Magic. Super Bowl host city, Miami. FIFA World Cup Golden Boot winner,
Messi.
Messi. M-E-S-S.
Messi, that's what I
Messi.
I don't think two S's. I don't think he won it though. I don't think Messi won it. Golden Boot winner.
I didn't even know that award.
It's whoever scores the most goals. Oh, Mueller. M-U-E-L-L-E-R.
That's Messi.
M-U-L-L-E-R.
Is there a silent H?
Yep, there we go. Champions League European Cup winner, Munich. M-U-N-I-C-C. M-U-N-I-C-H.
We'll just start making stuff up over there.
Oh, okay, so that one didn't count. Man City. Manchester United. Man United.
How the hell did we get Melbourne?
She spelt something wrong.
Men's Wimbledon.
Rebecca, just type it. Manchester United.
Oh, F11.
All right. Spanish Premier League team.
Madrid.
I don't know because it's Real Madrid. It would be skip that one. All right. Africa Cup of Nations host.
Madagascar. Good guess.
Morocco.
2 C's.
Morocco.
seasons.
Does that say Smoker World Champion?
All right. Tour de France
Me.
winner. I don't know. All right, so we can go ahead and just get rid of this quiz because I thought this was just. I didn't realize we were going. There's a lot of soccer questions. All right, get up, give up. New quiz. So here's the thing, Rebecca. You can't type 74 words per minute because you've misspelled
no
every
way.
one of them.
Keyboard is slow.
Oh,
No, it's
so
the
that
keyboard.
So the slow keyboard makes you type
type in a K
wrong
in
letters?
Muhammad?
It's
Oh,
so slow.
I hit that K an hour ago.
Hey, what's the gain on Mach's mic on?
What do you tell me? I sound bad?
No, it sounds a little crispy.
Ooh, I like that.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It sounds like you should get on the board, really.
Do you want to trade?
I want to go home.
All right, let's swap.
All right, so while Kendall does that, he can hear me. So we were talking before. We'll do the cap casualty thing.
Oh, we're in.
So the cap casualties. We only got 15 minutes till the break.
No break.
No break? Sure. All right. So we talked about
Kendall's
cap
here. He
casualties.
worked all day. Doesn't need a break.
He didn't really work.
It was.
I don't know. What does he have on his neck right there? What is that? Is that a lanyard?
No, it was off.
Nah,
she was just
didn't
kind
want
of
to
yelling.
talk. She just kind of had conversations with us off mic.
Ooh, static.
Yeah, a lot of noise going on right now.
It's this freaking.
It's this freaking what?
The wire hookup, yeah, it makes that noise. It's been doing this for a while, but you don't wear headphones.
I should take these off because I hear a lot of shit. I didn't realize how bad the production was. Oh man, ears are sweaty. Mom's spaghetti. I thought I'd get a chuckle out of Mach. Kendall, did you hear what I said?
I did.
Yeah, Mach, good. All right, so we were talking before about cap casualties. So this article is a little better. This one came out in May. It was here 12 veteran players who could be on the chopping block after the draft. So I'm not sure about all of them, but so we'll start off with this one. So Brandon Williams, nose tackle from the Baltimore Ravens. He has a 2019 cap hit of $14 million. If he is released, he will save $6.25 million in cap space. And he there's a moderate level this is like a thing that they did, so it's a moderate level to clear cap space for the Ravens.
Yep.
So the Ravens, as of right now, have a little over $12 million in cap space. Brandon Williams, in 6 years, has produced 5.5 sacks, 221 total tackles. So
It's pretty good for a nose tackle.
I'm saying, so do you think this is somebody that the Ravens disembark with to save 6.5 mil? And then, if so, where do we see him going?
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
On your list, are there any wide receivers?
I'll have to scroll through. No. Yeah, one wide receiver and 2 tight ends.
May I ask who the receiver is?
The receiver is Nelson Aguilar,
Okay, so no, they don't cut him.
and then the tight ends are Kyle Rudolph and Ryan Griffin.
Well,
not Brian Griffin.
Well, Rudolph, I think we could take off the list. He just signed an extension.
Yeah, but
could you imagine that? Well, that'd be a
gave
New York
Kirk
Giants
Cousins a guaranteed bunch of money.
Yeah,
but
I mean, like they just gave him an extension like 2 weeks ago. But for
lot can change
to save, I mean, the $6 million, that's a decent savings, but they need all the help they can get on that defense, and those numbers are solid for a nose tackle. I mean, that's a guy that's not on the field for every play.
Right.
So I think he stays put. Okay. If he's cut, Detroit Lions.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, Matt Patricia, why not just load up on defensive linemen? Traded for snacks.
The Detroit Lions do have $23 million in cap space. I mean, I don't think they cut him because I don't think, like you said, I just don't. Well, it's not that they can't afford to. I just don't think there's nothing worth saving. Like there's nobody that they're going to sign for $18 million by doing. You know what I'm saying? Like by cutting him, there's somebody that's got to be you'd have to sign worth $12 million essentially. Like I don't think there's anybody on their radar. If he were to get cut though, I could see a team like the Raiders picking him up. They still have a lot of cap space. I could also see the Colts picking them up. They have $45 million in cap space still. They spent no money. Isn't that amazing? They spent no money. How do they do that?
I think there was a lot of, plans I think the Colts had in mind. Like, hey, we're going to really bolster this offense. We're going to get Bell. We're going to go out. We're going to get a receiver to pair with Hilton. And then they just didn't do any of that.
Well, it's not that they didn't. They missed out.
I'm looking at some of these dead cap numbers. Wow.
Yeah.
The Giants.
Yeah.
$34 million. Second worst in the NFL. Yeah.
Because we got to pay Odell. We're paying Olivier Vernon. It is what it is. But I think
Landon Collins money too.
Collins was a free agent.
Oh, okay.
But I'm pretty sure after this season, it's next to like nothing.
Yeah. Like the Colt, I'm looking at right here, like the Bucks, who have no cap space pretty much, but they also only have $1 million dead cap.
Yeah. The Colts, I think, will be a team that makes a spot for a guy like a Nelson Aguilar, where they may have to overpay a bit, but I think they'd give him a short-term deal. Because I think Aguilar's a talented receiver. When he came in, he had a lot of drop issues, but I think he would pair well with the T.Y. Hilton.
He gets lost in the Zach Ertz, Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Right. He's not a big guy, so like.
And I think he can go to a team like the Colts with Andrew Luck, who I think is going to be back in that top 5 quarterback realm, and blow the roof off. Right. I think he can have a big season.
We could agree, too. I think Aguilar is not a 1. I don't think any
and he wouldn't be
scheme.
on the Colts.
All right, so here's an interesting one. $9 million 2019 cap hit, $6.5 million savings if released. Lesean McCoy. Now, the Bills don't need a lot of cap space work because they still have almost $22 million cap space, but it could be something do it now to save it for later kind of thing, or trade. Maybe this trade works out, like a blockbuster trade before anything, something like that. But they're a team that, like, LeSean McCoy is aging. They drafted Devin Singletary. I don't think they're going to cut LeSean McCoy, but in order to save money for somebody that has not had production due to injury for an older running back.
What was his cap hit? I'm sorry.
$9 million.
So they would save $9 million?
No, they would save $6.5 million.
I could see them cutting him. I mean, he's a guy that's always hurt. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I remember there was some type of controversy with LeSean McCoy not too long ago. Whether it was him saying he wasn't coming to... I forget exactly what it was. But I could see them cutting because, like you said, he's hurt all the time. He's aging.
Well, my thing, too, is with McCoy, they signed Frank Gore and T.J. Yeldon. So, like, this kid that they drafted...
Frank Gore's a Bill.
Yeah, so this kid that they drafted, like, he's already going to be fighting for depth chart space, roster space, really, with those 3 guys on the roster. And so, like, are you really going to, like, not have your rookie on... I mean, he can play special teams, but...
Where was he drafted?
3rd round.
So, I mean, being a 3rd-round pick, there's no guarantee you're going to play as a running back at first.
No, but you're guaranteed to make the roster.
You're guaranteed to make the roster.
No, you're guaranteed to make the roster as a 3rd-round running back. I mean, because realistically, how many times are we seeing like 10 running backs go in the first 2 rounds, something like that?
No, I know.
A third-round running back is a good pick.
It absolutely is. But again, you're looking at a team that.
But he's going to be special teams exclusively if you have McCoy, Yeldon, and Frank Gore.
That's what I mean.
Frank Gore is a very short-term deal. Yeldon is never going to be the number 1 option. With McCoy on the team, like this guy's not going to get any reps.
But that's why I think McCoy becomes expendable. I mean, a 3rd-round pick is a high draft pick, but I mean, with the going out and signing 2 free agent running backs, to me looks like you're going to set up that type of competition. McCoy, I don't think is going to be effective anymore. I think he's too old and he's
and
hurt.
the thing too with this, if they were to cut McCoy, granted it's nothing going to be compared to the Giants' 3-headed monster, but they've developed their own little 3-headed monster. In that you have the downhill 3rd down back in Frank Gore, you've got the pass receiving back in Yeldon, and then this kid that they drafted, Devin Singletary, has got arguably the best wiggle in the draft.
But that's
he
the
can
thing
make people
too.
miss.
Yeah,
you can use Gore and Yeldon as the 1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm
Yeldon can be your 1st and 2nd, Gore on your 3rd.
But that's what. Well, I would do it the other way.
I don't think Gore can carry the load anymore.
But I mean, he did it last year, and he was relatively effective.
I'd be curious to see what his carries were.
But I would use only because that 3rd down back. I mean, Gore's not catching passes. You know, like there's
you watch your mouth.
like he's just not. You know, I could see Yeldon getting 1st, 2nd down, but I think Gore will be that 1st down bet where he comes into, you know, rush for the 5 yards. Now it's a 2nd and 5 and whatever, but to me, McCoy becomes expendable, and I could see a team that is in need of running back help, but not a starting running back. A team like the Lions. You know, Kerryon Johnson's going to be their bell cow, and him and McCoy are similar, but McCoy can come in and fill that role to let Kerryon.
Or maybe even a team like the Saints.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like, I mean, it's an older version of Kamara, but in that aspect, you don't have to change the offense at all, no matter who's in the game. Or
the Chiefs.
The Patriots.
The Patriots or the Chiefs. McCoy can go to a Chiefs team this year and still be super effective in that offense.
If you were a GM, what is the value of a Lesean McCoy to you? Knowing all that we do, injury, whatever, but it
depends on the team. So like, if
what team am I?
Yeah, well, like that's the thing. So like, if we're like, we'll go down the list. So if you're talking about a team like he said, like the Colts or the Lions, for example, a team that have cap space, you could give them a $8 million contract for a year, or 15 for 2 or something like that. But if you're a team that maybe could use him, but don't necessarily have the cap, like you look at a team like the Packers, for example, they only have $8 million in cap space. Yeah. So like, it comes at that point. I think it becomes to LeSean McCoy. Like, are you more like, what are you looking for to do? Are you looking to win, or are you looking to get money? Because if you're looking to get money, a team like the Seahawks, the Colts, the 49 or the Lions, Chiefs, teams that have cap space that need a running back will probably pay a little extra. But you look at teams like the Packers, a good spot for him, even though it'd be the oldest backfield in fucking history, would be the Redskins. But like the Patriots, these are Falcons, teams that don't have a lot of cap space. But
he goes to the Patriots. Oh my god!
All right, what about Giovanni Bernard? He's only a $4.5 million cap hit, and they would save $3.5 million by cutting him. Giovanni Bernard or Joe Mixon is the clear number 1 back in Cincinnati, and they picked 2 running backs in the draft, both 6th rounders, and also signed an undrafted free agent at running back. So they're currently boasting 5 running backs in training camp.
I think Giovanni Bernard is like the most underrated running back in the NFL. That's a guy, when they give him, when Mixon's hurt, or even back when it was, what the hell's the other guy's name? He was on the Patriots. I forget who Jeremy
Hill.
Jeremy Hill. When he was hurt, Bernard came in and put up solid games, like week after week, and then would just get sent back to the bench. Like, he's such a good running back.
Well, I think, and not a discredit to him, but when the Bengals not winning and he not really making an impact. I mean, he's putting up numbers, but they're not winning because of him.
We're not winning because our team is terrible.
Well, right.
I mean, the team is bad. But I mean, really, like Bernard, if I'm the New York Giants, say, and you have a Saquon Barkley who is an extremely dynamic player, but I think Giovanni Bernard would be the absolute perfect complement. Because he's a guy that he can catch the pass out of it. He's not great at it, but he can do it. And he's a great just north-south runner.
You know where else Lesean Mccoy would be really good? I have to look at the cap space real quick. They have the cap space. The Cowboys. Gives them somebody that can both run and receive when Zeke's not in the game.
I'd hate that a lot, too.
Because if Zeke's not in the game, the Cowboys have no offense. So they need somebody to put something on. You know, if Zeke's out of the game, you know it's going to pretty much be a passing play. But if Lesean McCoy's in the game, you're not sure where the pass is going. Yeah. And he can still run. He still has wiggle. So we're going to have to do some more depth. This is something that maybe we could do a little bit better as the rest of the free agency stuff kind of comes and we get a little further in a training camp. So the way that this list the rest of them are kind of irrelevant. It's all like, you know, like $1 million cap savings. Like, don't have a lot of stats. So I think it's a good opportunity. We're going to go to break. We'll do like a 2-minute break. Let Kendall catch his laurels over there. We'll come back. Maybe Kendall can find us a tier, something we can discuss. Kendall, I'm sure, is dying to talk, but we'll be back in 2 minutes' time.
Hold on, Stanley, I just saying, I don't know what she did with the music here.
All right, so Kendall's not ready to go.
We were listening to some George Michael before, and
also,
I was
we
kind of
listened
into
to
it.
Wham twice.
Heard some Wham.
Oh, nice.
Twice. Guess what song it was?
Was it Wake Me Up?
Yep,
No,
and?
It was Let Me Sleep Before You Stay. Stay.
Let me
fan.
sleep before you stay.
I'm going to click this. It's probably going to go to an ad, so we'll just go to break.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm joined by Poops.
You know, I like the ball better when he wears headphones. Made his ears look nice.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler. I'm joined by Machcine Washable.
No.
And that's it. Nobody else. Everyone else is not here. It's just me and him. Running the show. Fuck you, Kendall.
Oh.
All right. So we're back, third hour. Do some fun
Yeah,
stuff.
if you're still here with us, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think we've had sound on Facebook for 2 hours.
Were we live at least, though?
Yeah, we've been live because I had the video up.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, did we have like audio, like on PPRN Network?
Oh, yeah, we're on
okay.
PPR.
As long as that.
I said too, Kendall, like, as you're on your way here, I was like, I hope he gets here. And he's just like, you guys haven't been on this whole time.
No, we're on. I mean, unfortunately, I mean, I'm grateful that, Rebecca was here, but I mean, I don't know how much of this we can use.
What?
I just mean, audio was real low. Just looking at the where the board was set up, it was. But
Rebecca, you did a great job for us. Thank you for stepping in.
We're super appreciative, Rebecca. Now, why don't you show us your feet?
Show the world.
This is your time. Show us your feet.
So,
Not me, though.
I started working.
I won't look. Oh, it's funny. That's rich. That's rich.
Kendall, did you come up with a tier thing?
I did go with a tier. I just didn't put it in. But I do have a tier. Just going to type in tiermaker.com. Everything tier.
Yeah, good thing you had the whole break.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about stuff. We had a lot to catch
You
up
can't
on.
multitask?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Kendall, good news. I think I fixed most of the mail situation at your house.
Oh,
I changed my address on my bank, and I no longer have that auto loan, so that's pretty much the only mail that was going there that I cared about. So the rest of it, it's probably garbage. Still bring it to me, though.
I will.
Because I know what'll happen.
That one time.
Yeah. It'll be like a letter from Ghana where I got $10 million and I didn't get it, so I didn't collect the $10 million.
You know how many Nigerian princesses you could be supporting?
God, if Kyle ever got one of those emails. Guys, I need to borrow some money.
I just want to help her.
There's a porky black woman in Nigeria.
Oh, we doing power rankings again?
Oh, no. Well, yes and no.
Best logo?
Best logo. Kind of doing the jersey thing we did the other week, but with MLB logos.
Kyle's going to be super bummed. He's
Oh,
missing that.
yeah. Take that, soul.
So current logos, right?
Current logos.
Where's the
2019.
Marlins? It is the current.
It is the
logo?
current.
Where is it?
Current right over here.
Current.
It's the current.
Okay. So you want to go in order then?
Yeah, we'll go right down the
why not?
line.
All right. So
Jerry Rafferty song right down the line. Sponsor.
all right. So
Angels.
Yeah, Angels of Anaheim. I give it a B. I like it's just, I mean, like, most of these are just a letter, but, like, I like how they incorporate the angel halo into it.
The halo's what makes it for me.
Yeah, the City of Angels, Los Angeles. But I don't know, it's just like it kind of like I think a lot of it has to do with angels in the outfield kind of getting
It's
that
word art with flair.
Yeah. But it's like a lot. I think the Angels in the Outfield kind of had a lot to do with like the classicness of it. Because outside of that movie, like who gives a shit? But I would give it a B. I think it's a nice logo. Up. Get those dragon through
real glitchy.
Actually, you can keep the Houston Astros right there.
Yeah.
Because I hate that.
I prefer the incomplete star as well.
I didn't say I preferred that. I just said that that's terrible.
Well, I'm saying that
It's just like a gross H on a star. Like, I mean, I understand that like Texas is the Lone Star state, but it's orange, so it doesn't really pay homage to the flag.
It kind of looks like someone's cheap PowerPoint project.
That's fair.
Just a letter over a symbol.
Hey, I gotta put something in here. Star.
Perfect.
What about the Oakland Athletics?
I always kind of liked it.
I like the jerseys and the color scheme more than I like the logo.
I like it because it's the only one that has an apostrophe S.
All right.
Kendall loves grammar.
Is that enough? Is that enough reasoning to?
I'm in the C range.
Oh no, it's still a C. I'm just saying I like it.
Yeah, I'd give it a C.
Take that, Oakland, and your dirty stadium.
All right.
Dirty city.
Hey. Yeah.
All right, so the Atlanta Braves.
I hate it.
You hate the A?
I don't know why. I hate it.
I remember there was a period of time like every rapper in like between 2004
From Atlanta?
and 6, not even Atlanta, just that's a hat they just had.
I couldn't even give you a reason as to why I do.
It's kind of whatever. I mean, I don't know.
D.
I don't think it's a D. I think it's a C.
I'll give it a C.
It's classic. It's virtually unchanged for some time.
Kendall loves the Braves.
That's true. All right, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Love it. B.
Really?
Yeah. I like the wheat.
That's what I like.
Yeah, but like, I mean, all right, give it a B.
Listen, if the wheat wasn't there, it's a terrible logo. If it was just that M.
But like the same size, so it's just got like a bunch of empty space underneath it.
B for Milwaukee. Soul's missing out. All these shout-outs. Now here comes the masses' favorite team.
Yeah, remember he was going to Skype in?
Per se.
So the St. Louis Cardinals. I give it. Oh
no, we're still there. I'm just looking.
yeah, but we can't see it. So
I know.
I give it an A because I like how they subtly incorporate the T into it for St. Louis. Kendall never noticed that till right now.
No, I.
Nope.
Tell you what, Mock didn't notice it till right now.
No, Kendall either, because Kendall was looking at it and he was like, "Oh yeah, there's a T there."
No. I knew.
Hey, you guys interested in bringing on a guy, by the way, on the show in a couple weeks?
Yep.
Big Red Sox Patriots fan.
No.
Well, his second favorite. Come on, his second favorite team is the Mets and the Cowboys.
Yeah, stab him in the neck.
Stab him in the neck.
He sounds like the worst human alive.
Hold on.
He sounds terrible.
He thinks Michael Strahan's the most overrated pass rusher of all time.
Yeah, this guy should die.
But he's also hosting the Lawrence Taylor dinner at the Chowder Pot. No, this is
Senior Chowder?
your dad's going to that for bottomless chowder, not because of Lawrence Taylor.
Bottomless chowder.
Your dad's
Another
going there.
bowl.
Your dad's going there because they're gonna have bottomless chowder with cigarette butts in it, and he's gonna love it.
Yeah, I need another crock.
Him and Bob Backlund are going together.
You know, it'd be funny with more planning if we did a show there, but never talk to him. We're just like in the lobby.
Hey, LT, could you keep it down?
Trying to do a show over here.
Cubs, I feel like also has to be A.
Yeah, that's like one of the iconic ones.
Yeah, and it's the only lowercase logo.
It is boring, but it is classy.
Diamondbacks is D.
This is the greatest logo. It's a dry A. No,
Their old one was better.
Yeah, way better. I don't know, D, I guess.
Yeah, I give it a D. It's unique in like its color scheme and like the shape.
But the old logo was just so good.
Right, but you can't.
No, I know.
You can't lower the rank because of the old. Because
it's the Arizona Triangle Party. That's what it looks like.
Duh.
All right, the law.
So the LA, I like a lot. I think the LA is either A or B. I mean,
I got him in the B range.
I like the color scheme. It's the block letter, but it's very. I think it's very nice. I don't know. I give it.
I'm cool with a B. I like
give it a
it
B.
too. I like it because it's all connected.
You know, we listened to Faith during one of the breaks. It's stuck in my head now.
Faith Hill. San Francisco Giants. I give them C, maybe D.
Really?
It's too like I know it's an S and an F, but when I look at that logo, I don't see an F.
Yeah,
I know it's there, but it looks like the S going through the F. It makes it look like so when you look at the LA, the L is working as the cross part of the A.
Right.
You know, like you look at like
that
other logos, like other overlapping letter logos. Like they either incorporate one letter into a next, or they're like staggered. The San Francisco, it's just too cluttered. Almost, it looks like. I personally think it's a D, but I'll let C go because I like the colors.
Zach Greinke just homered off Kershaw.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I do like the jerseys in general, the uniform in general, but
I say C.
No, I can live with C. D.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Sorry, Cleveland.
Could be an F.
It's not an F because unless we're going to follow the rules of only one F, the F's coming up soon. But the Blue Jays. So here's the deal. I like the Blue Jays for the same reason I like another team we're going to get to later, and that it's the only non-letter logo.
Yeah,
it's unique, and I like the incorporation of the logo and the nationality into it with the Toronto Blue Jays. I think it.
I do like the Blue Jays logo.
A nice subtle leaf.
Yeah, I'd give it a B.
Give it like a solid C. No, I'm kidding. B.
You can give it a C.
No. I meant B. I was trying to be funny.
Seattle for me is an A.
I love that logo.
Yeah,
Seattle's
it's a good
logo.
look.
I love the compass in the middle of it. I don't know why it's there. I also don't know why that one says trademark, but a lot of the other ones don't. So I guess we can steal the other ones.
Well, the A's is.
Yeah, Cleveland we can't take.
All right, cool. Diamondbacks are up for grabs.
Yeah, we can do whatever. Sell porn under, that logo.
Diamondback sluts.
F.
Volume 3.
It's a dry slut.
F.
Yeah, this Marlins logo, it's I don't know.
They had the perfect one in the 2000s when they beat the Yankees.
Yeah, we don't need to bring that up.
we can go ahead and throw that one in the F too.
I don't know about F, but
I'm in the D range.
Yeah, I don't really like it.
I know we talked about it. I
that's
hate
one
it.
of those. That's one of those teams that like I would be happy if
it's like the Yankees logo had a stroke.
I disagree. I think ours has some order. Yours is kind of brand. So I'm willing to put the Mets in D if the Yankees also go in D.
No.
Yes.
No, I won't put the Yankees in D. I'll give you C if I can put the Yankees in A.
Well, that's not the case.
Here's the deal: if the MLB has a rule somewhere that says only two teams can have non-lettered logos, the Orioles should switch to the O, and the Mets should switch to Mr. Met.
It should be Mr. Met. If it was Mr. Met, it's a B all day.
Yeah,
but
Mr. Met is awesome, but that is just terrible.
Makeshift NY is trash.
And it's ugly font, and they have
It's not an ugly font.
It is 100% an ugly font.
It's a good font.
It's not a good font.
It is. There's actually a name for this font, and
it's dumb.
that's a poor joke.
It got a chuckle.
It's like old English meets autism. It's terrible though. It's such a bad font.
All right, can we agree? C.
Fine, I will give you C.
I'm standing by D only because I know I'm outvoted.
I think Washington can go D.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's just kind of whatever.
There's a cursive W.
Here's the thing though: the longer you look at it, the less it looks like a W, and the more it looks like an octopus.
I see a snake.
Yeah.
Snake is also acceptable,
Washington,
which works for Jason Worth and Bryce Harper.
Do you remember they had the DC hats they wore for a little bit?
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they brought that back.
They should just change it to the Washington Bullets.
I hate the Orioles logo.
Really?
I
racist.
My family are all Orioles.
So here's the thing. I like the logo because it incorporates both their secondary and primary logo into the same logo.
Yeah, he's wearing the hat.
I just wish he wasn't wearing the hat. I wish he was just the bird.
Why though?
I don't know.
Weird if it was just the bird.
We talked about this. Was it last week or the week before?
Yeah.
It's like putting a hat on a hat.
I don't like it.
With pun aside.
I say D.
All right, fine, that's fine.
I
Kind of making the Mets too highly rated, in my opinion. But
I disagree. Listen, if the Oriole wasn't wearing the hat, he'd be much higher on my list.
San Diego.
Padres.
C.
Yeah.
I mean, It's like the same concept as the LA thing, except it's more like the S wraps around the D, but it's just kind of like an average logo. Phillies, I feel like you got to give at least.
I kind of like the font.
I might
cool.
give it an A. It's classic.
I was gonna say I'm in that BA range.
We'll give it an A for Souls.
Yeah, we kind of was shitting on him before.
Yeah, before you got here.
You only a little bit, but not as much.
But still enough.
Pirates.
See, I think they're A, and I think they could contend for S. I think the Pirates have a really sharp logo.
I kind of agree. I'm a big fan.
I say A.
I give them A, yeah. Go ahead and throw those in the D. Texas Rangers
terrible.
sucks. That's a terrible logo.
You don't like that little thing they got going on in the middle of the team?
Hey, here's the T's necktie.
Yeah, right? And what you can do is right after that throw the Tampa Bay Rays right in the D as well, because all they did was make the T smaller and put a B next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, unimaginable. Well, the biggest crime is that they can't be the Devil Rays.
Right.
Boston's got to be an A. That's an iconic
Yeah.
logo. S. Cincinnati. Best jerseys.
I mean, how can we argue otherwise? I like how I'm a big fan.
It's cut off.
Here's the deal. Here's my take on it.
That's terrible.
A team that was founded for a different sports, like, altogether. Different sports, like, league altogether. Was founded 40 years later, and it's better than theirs. The Bears adapted the C, and it looks better than the Red Sea. The Red Sea
And the best part of the Bears is it probably would have fit in this graphic. They didn't even, try.
I'd give it...
I'm in the FD range.
I'd give it a D.
To me...
See, for me, I feel like because there's so many, average ones, I feel like S has to kind of be like F. One has to be the worst, and one has to be the best.
Right.
If you're gonna say that there's multiple worst, then there's got to be multiple best.
And for me, this looks like an aerial shot of a toilet seat.
Little bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Colorado, I give a B.
Yeah, I like it.
I always liked it.
I think it's very sharp. The color scheme is pretty nice. I like it.
The purple.
I'm in the same with Kansas City.
Yeah, I like the
flows in.
Yeah, it kind of flows into it.
Detroit, terrible. Terrible.
It's kind of busy. It reminds
It's
me
too fancy for the city.
It looks like a dragon.
It's a trash city.
It looks like the D that would start off dragon in like a Renaissance novel.
It's like that episode of SpongeBob where he's trying to write his paper.
I'd
give it a D.
Yeah, too busy.
Now, here's the sister of the Cincinnati Reds.
This is the twice Reds.
Here's the thing.
I don't get it.
Twin City. That's what it's for.
Oh.
But that's the thing, though. That's a unique thing, because even though they're the Minnesota Twins, they're never called the Twin City Twins.
But it's the same C.
Right, but it's like...
As a team, I believe they share a division with. Are they in the same division?
No, it's
it's AL, I know.
Go ahead.
I knew.
Suck a toe.
Well, I got shot glasses for us.
Yeah, Mock's not doing that. I think they're a C. I think it's a C, because I think it's unique that they incorporate the nickname of the city into the logo without having it actually be part of the name of the team.
White Sox, I'm a big fan of.
I like it. I got them in the A range.
Kind of staggers down.
I think they're a B. I don't think they hold up to the standard of the ones above.
I put them in the A because it's a unique way they did. A lot of times we see you see in the B the 2-letter. They're the only ones that do the 3-letter diagonal.
And though we're not talking about all this stuff, but even their secondary logo, that with the batter, I'm a fan of that too. So they're kind of 2 for 2 on cool logos. So I'm going to do A.
I think so. That's my vote.
I can't mass it, so.
Sorry, that's not what I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. Well, you can go ahead and take the Mets and put them in the fuck you category then.
There we are. All right. And the Stankies.
A.
All right, so
all right.
Can I just make a quick for the iconicness of the Yankees, they deserve an A. But I just want to just make a quick point. You see the font here of the Red Sox? Mm-hmm. Not that much different than what the Mets have.
Yeah, but there's not another letter hanging on for dear life to the B.
Listen, but if it fell, it had a place to be caught. So, I'm just saying that.
All right, so now we go through the A's for the S? Because the F is decided.
Well, I think... So here's the thing. I think because there's so many A's, I think in order to keep this kind of standard to the tier system, I think we need to move an A to S and an A to B. that fair?
Yep.
I feel like you can't have more A's than B's.
Yeah.
It takes away from like the elite standardness of it. So, my vote for moving from A to B would be either the White Sox or the Cardinals.
I was thinking Cardinals.
I only say the White Sox, and it's not because like I'm like hating on my team. It's just not. It doesn't hold up to the same standard of classic iconic logos.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Massey.
And
let's move the Cardinals.
All right.
I think it's the Cardinals.
You're very busy.
Now for A, are we going based off best logo, favorite, iconic? What are we doing here?
Now,
best logo, I feel, that has some sort of, something that's been around for a while.
So here's the thing. For me, if it's going off my favorite, it's Seattle. But if we're going off of like been around for a while, classic, I think it got to be the Pirates. I think the Pirates P is better than the Phillies P. I think the Pirates color scheme is better than the Phillies color scheme, and I think Pete Rose is a piece of shit.
shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
He'll be on next
Now,
week.
I know.
That guy did steroids.
I know it's super homer, but
All right, put
I-
the Phillies in.
I press you to find a more iconic logo, arguably in sports, than the New York Yankees.
So you saved it. Because when you started that sentence, I was going to say Coca-Cola.
I mean, really, the Red Sox one is up there too, but I mean, you can go anywhere in the world and show a Yankees logo, and they'll know what it is.
I agree with you, but I do think there is a more iconic logo in sports.
So I kind of...
Dal. No, I'm sorry with you.
Blah!
No, I think the Lakers are a more iconic logo in sports. Granted, it says Los Angeles Lakers right on the logo, but
I'm sort of on the same wavelength as Paul right now. So I really like the Seattle...
it can't be Seattle. It just can't be. It's not fair. It has to be, like, for me, it's got to be between, like, Yankees, Red Sox, Pirates, Phillies, Cubs. The Seattle and White Sox, Mariners and White Sox are out. They're not S.
All right,
I don't think the Cubs are an S simply because even though it's an iconic logo, it's not a super creative logo, even though it's been around for a long time. Like, the New York, it's creative. There's a creative aspect to it. The B isn't super creative. Like, the two P's aren't super creative. However, the Pirates, I think the Pirates have been around longer than the Phillies, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
I'm going to say one name real quick. Honus Wagner.
Yeah, I agree. You should go ahead and put the Reds up there.
I mean, that's a killer name.
You should put the Reds up there. That guy's card is worth a lot of money.
Is
Who? Honus Wagner?
Honus.
I mean, again, like, I don't want to be the homer, but I don't think there's a logo, especially in baseball, but I mean, really, in almost all of sports, that's
So
more...
the Pirates are the fourth oldest team in baseball. They were founded in 18...
Who's older, Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs?
Wait. That doesn't make any sense.
Because keep that in mind, I mean, the Yankees logo hasn't changed in a century. I mean, it's been the same for forever. Same with the Red. I mean, the Red Sox have always had that B.
Yeah. I mean, so, like, the thing is like, when were they founded?
I believe 1903.
Right, so, like, all these teams were founded in the 1880s. So, like, it was, like, a little different. Like, there weren't as many people, so they just kind of played with their city name on their shirt. And they didn't wear hats, necessarily. But it goes Pirates, and then before them was the Cardinals, the Cubs, and the Braves are the oldest team. The original team was the Boston Red Stockings. So Chicago's actually the oldest team if you go by a city that they were founded in.
Could you be like, hey, guys, we don't wear stockings anymore. What do you say we change it to socks, huh?
So I think the Cubs would technically be the oldest logo because they've been Chicago forever.
Right.
Like, you can make the argument for it. Like, because the Pittsburgh Pirates, I don't know if the P is more for Pirate or Pittsburgh. That's the problem. Just like the C, is it for Chicago or Cubs? Just like for S, is it Seattle or Mariners? I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. The Cubs have a secondary logo.
It's the Cub.
Right. But the Pirates don't, to my knowledge. I don't.
No, they have the Pirate, don't they? Biting the sword?
No, that's
What I
the
think
Bucks.
is interesting.
No, not that one.
Oh, I know what you're talking
He's got
about.
the red bandana.
Yeah, you're right.
What do they call him? The
Neil the Buck,
the buckwhacker or something like that.
Bushwhacker.
Bushwhacker. Now, what I do
forgot about
find
that
interesting with Pittsburgh in general is all the Pittsburgh teams share the color scheme and have.
Actually, in the Roberto Clemente day, the Pirates logo was actually the yellow square with the black outline with the pirate guy on it with the skull and crossbones on the
I
hat.
totally forgot about
disqualified.
Well, no, but the P's also been around for.
I know. I'm
No, you're not.
being funny.
Well, I see no alternative.
Yankees.
It's got to be the Reds.
Bump them up.
No, I can't do it. I can't give it to the Phillies. I can't do it. I'd rather vomit. Pirates.
So is there a logo here that we all really like? That's what this is really about.
Yeah, the Mariners.
I like the Mariners a lot.
So here's the deal. For me, in order for this, it goes biases. White Sox, Mariners, Pirates. Mock, I'm pretty sure it goes Yankees, Mariners, White Sox.
Yep.
And for Kendall, because his
Mets.
own logo sucks, I think for Kendall, it would go Pirates, Mariners, White Sox.
Yeah.
All right, so the Mariners are just a round out two, so let's go ahead and throw those motherfuckers up in there.
The Mariners is a cool...
Throw them an S. Because I like the old logo, too.
The Mariners are cool.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And for you, GSWD listeners, we have selected our favorite baseball logo.
The New York Yankees.
Of Anaheim.
I like to see these two guys battle it out. I wish,
Here's the deal. There's no battle because we didn't even hesitate to put the Marlins in F. Like, there was no hesitation. No one was like, well, I mean, it could be a D because I like the color. Nobody said that.
No, I know.
It was just like, throw them an F.
But
Although, I think I like that logo more than the...
Oh, then
previous one.
yeah, the previous one was the worst.
Yeah.
But that one
The
was
one
still
before
bad.
that was good.
Yeah. You mean the one when they beat the Yankees? The World Series?
Yeah, that was great.
it's funny.
Maka's kind of like echoey.
Little echo there.
Talk, Maka.
What do we got?
No, that one was better. Talk like that from now on.
What do we got?
Mak?
Yeah.
All right. I got real lightheaded and just passed out. Can you find us another quick tier? Or does someone else have something else in mind?
I mean, the topics I thought of, we already said.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a rough show. Last minute, like, I had this whole plan for the show today, and then everyone was just like, yeah,
sick.
Vaginal problems. Fuck Rebecca. Oh, that's good. What do you got? Football.
Fast food restaurant.
Biggest, smallest football clubs.
Just type in sports.
Sports.
Sports. Oh, type in Riverhead Irrigation softball players.
You don't want NBA starting point guards?
Lonzo, baby. Lonzo.
Sporta.
See, I wish there was one that went across like sports.
See, the WWE entire roster.
You can go ahead and put Natty at F. Yep. Nah, that's messed up.
I actually do want to see what pops up.
A lot
Just
of pictures. There'll be a lot.
Listen, we can do it.
No, we can't.
I feel like what Riddler's about to say is it's taking a long time to load, so there's probably like 7,000. Oh, there's only 6 people here. Great, that makes sense.
Is that Hunico?
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's going.
Keep scrolling though. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling down, Kendall. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. There's like 8,000 people.
Where would you put Big E Langston?
You can go ahead and throw Alexa Bliss at S, and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, pretty much wrap that up.
There's some people.
Although
here.
Bailey.
She's not Alexa.
But
Primo, but...
Some
we can
people
go ahead and get out of this. If Jeff was here, Asuka won.
He's big Asuka? Osuka?
The hell's that guy with the horns?
That's Hunico. That Kelly.
Oh my God, Kendall, what are you doing?
There we go.
Perfect.
All right, we did it. Thank you on Facebook for tuning in.
Submit.
Are they watching you do this too?
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go back to sports and see what they have for us.
Yeah, can you do like best starting centers in 2004?
I've tried very specific searches and they just don't exist. Like
we can make them though. We gotta make them. We gotta come up here and make our own.
I wish I could do the thing like I did in your basement and sit with the microphone in my just get real lax with it.
See, like, there's only a select few sports. So, I mean, the stuff you see on YouTube, like, these people have to just make this.
What do you think? NFL team tiers. Preseason power ranking?
All right.
S.
Yes.
Cleveland.
Ooh, there's an E.
Oh, wow.
Paul, let's make Kendall real mad.
All right. Chipper Jones to the Ravens. All right, so let's start at the back and move our way forward. All right, so F has got to be the worst team in football.
Worst
So
team.
listen to this. So S
So
is
who
like,
we think will have the first pick?
S is S is like Super Bowl. Like, who's your favorite to win the Super Bowl this year? A is, we'll call it like
Championship games.
No, division winner, like buys, type of thing. So like 3 teams, we'll call it. B is like division winners and wild cards. We'll call it like division winners. C can be wild cards. D can be like middle of the pack. E can be like lower tier, and F is like number 1 pick. Is that fair? Something like that.
I like
Sure.
that.
All right. So let's start with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put them in B, maybe C. I could see them winning the wild card, but I could also see them being really good this year and possibly win. They still have a really good defense. They still have Julio Jones. They still have Calvin Ridley, and they got another good receiver. And Matt Ryan, it was his off year last year. So
Well, the Falcons were off last year, right?
no,
So this is going to
Well,
be their
their
good year.
defense got hurt, and they lost Devonta Freeman.
Right,
right.
So this is going
But
to be their good year.
They go bad, good, bad, good, bad, good.
Yeah.
And it was so bad last year that it might be 16-0 this year. Sorry, Jeff.
That seems right.
But no Tevin Coleman.
That's true.
Yeah.
Where did he sign? He signed with...
I don't remember. Denver?
I can't even think of it. But we an agreement of B.
I want to say Jacksonville, but that's wrong. B, yes.
B. I think the
Lock
Falcons
it
will be
in,
good.
sir.
No.
All right.
49ers.
Ooh,
Hey,
never
what's
would've
up,
guessed
Ryan?
49ers mock.
that. Is it Ryan Roberts?
Yeah.
He went to the 49ers mock.
I was hanging out with
Thank
Ryan
you.
Roberts earlier. We had some good jokes going on. So,
All right.
Ryan,
Baltimore
Hey,
Ravens. I give the Baltimore Ravens a D.
Yeah, they're not going to...
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be like a middle of the road pack. Like, I think they'll finish with like a 12th, 13th pick, somewhere in that range.
the Panthers.
C.
You think they're like a wild card team? Yeah. So you think we're going to see all NFC South teams again?
I think they can contend for a wild card.
I don't know. I think they're D still. I just think that, like, I still think they're too one-dimensional at Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Like, I mean, Cam running the ball is, like, he's elusive, and don't get me wrong, he can, like, move the chains and, like, win games and stuff like that. But they still just don't have a lot of people to throw to. Greg Olson's an injury-prone guy, and their defense still isn't there.
I think that if Cam can't throw the ball, DJ Moore has a monster season. Because he's very talented. We saw him put up good numbers in a very limited fashion last year. And I think if Cam can throw the way he was able to, before last year, I think he can have a big-time season. So I think that they can compete for a wild card spot. That's why I have them in C.
All right. I can get behind C. I don't think it's higher than C.
Right. For me, I think if the Panthers make the playoffs, it's a 10-6. I don't dislike Cam Newton. I think it's kind of a head case that doesn't get mentioned about. But
It did when he was younger.
so C, we're gonna say C.
Yeah, we can put him in C.
The Burrs. I'm a big fan. I like that defense a lot.
So he said A was division winners?
A is like top tier division winners and like people you think can like get the first round bye. Like secure that first round bye. So I'm thinking like no more than 3,
I gotcha.
maybe 4 teams.
So I put them in A then.
There's a saying that someone coined, and you guys can finish what I'm about to say, that defense wins.
Bitches.
Right. With that being
Kickball.
said, bitches and kickball. I put them in the category. I mean, offensively, we're still it's yet to be seen what Trubisky is going to do. Made some great strides, still kind of in between, the infancy of his quarterback career, but I just think there's a lot of promise. It's crappy. The season ended with kind of a bad kick. That's how it is.
Fair.
The Bengals.
I mean, I say put them in E for now. They could contend for F, but I don't want to commit anyone to F yet.
Yeah, I was thinking this. I was trying to look over the list quick and be like, all right, so they're my F, but there's someone coming.
Browns of Cleveland.
B.
I have no problem putting them in B. Mark, I know you're going to say A.
No. Well, I'm trying to think because we said that they can secure the bye, so I'm assuming the Patriots get the bye. So I'm trying to think.
And the Chiefs will probably get the other one.
And I'm thinking it's either the Chiefs or the Chargers that get the other one. So I put them in B.
I put them in B. I think that they're. I think as of right now, as a preseason ranking, I think they're a solid pick for a playoff spot.
I think they're a team that can win that division, but will still be playing on Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
suck that, Reed.
Listen,
Try and guess what I'm going to say.
I just had a feeling.
Swine.
I will accept that.
All right, next.
Dallas.
C.
Cowboys. Really? Am I misremembering you favoring them for division winner?
Yeah, but I don't. I think that they can win the division, but I think they could also very easily lose the division.
Fair.
The Philadelphia Eagles got better in the backfield, and they're still inconsistent in every part of the football, every spot on the field except for the running back position. So, I mean, I think that they have a very good case to win the division and make the playoffs, but I think that I think it could be, and I think that you other two here would agree with it, that if the Cowboys don't win the division, they probably don't make the playoffs.
Right, I agree with that.
I think between the Vikings, the Packers, the Seahawks, the Panthers, the Falcons, there's too many other teams that are going to be better than whatever the second spot produces in the NFC East. So I think they're a C team. I think that they're going to win the division, but I think that they're going to be wild card teams better than them.
As much as it sickens me, I have them in B, where I think they win the division, but I think they also have the potential to be A.
Whoa.
And it's mostly because, I know. And it's mostly because, to me, their defense is serious. We saw it last year. Their defense is very good.
Mock's predicting boys Pat Super Bowl.
Oh, God, I can't imagine a worse thing.
What about
Pats
Eagles?
I could imagine a worse thing. I could.
Well,
Are you
2
ready?
years ago.
Are you ready? Pats.
I want that to happen. Whatever you're going to say.
All right.
Because we're talking just matchup. I can't imagine a worse Super Bowl matchup than Cowboys-Patriots.
Patriots?
No, what about the Patriots beating the Giants?
But that's
52-0.
Oh God, that'd be awful. But I wouldn't watch that. I would. But that'd be horrible. Imagine that 52-0. That'd be a terrible game.
It's not the worst matchup I could think of, but I'm also a different fan of a different team.
But really, like the Cowboys to me are gonna be. I think they're a serious team coming out of the East. So I put them in B with a potential, but I'll put them in B.
We cool with B?
Yeah.
B? All right. The Broncos of Denver.
D.
Yeah, they seem to be
Denver.
I still think the defense is formidable, and I think they have weapons on offense, but it's just not going to go anywhere.
Right. I think it's just the division is just too tough.
This is another thing that I think they're D with C potential. I think Flacco's going to turn heads in Denver.
I agree.
So I don't want to count him out.
And Philip Lindsay.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll be able to keep pace with the Chargers and the Chiefs, but I think he has the C potential. But I think they're a D team.
I think in order for them to move up in those rankings, it comes from Flacco's play and Joseph's coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, Vance Joseph was fired, right?
Yeah, after 1 year. So who is their head coach?
I don't remember. Gary Kubiak.
Arnold Palmer.
That's it. That's it.
All right, the Green Bay Packers.
You know, back in the day, people would have said, "Oh, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have no."
They
problem.
have to be at least a C.
I was putting him in C.
But, I guess what I was going to say is that though that used to be the case, he's been injured, and I kind of think we've seen a trend. Now, if he plays 16 games, then I give
him a C with A potential.
I'm cool with putting him in C.
Because I still need to see the defense come together, and they still don't have a running game. And the offensive line, still, I'm still not confident in it, so.
Houston.
C.
C.
I think that the window for them to win now is closing quick.
Outside of DeAndre Hopkins, the receiving core is meh.
Well, if Will Fuller's on the field, he's very good.
Will Fuller the fifth?
Yeah. But Deshaun Watson's injury prone with all that sack taking he's getting, and the defense isn't what it used to be.
See, I know we kind of got to move along, but the Texans are doing Watson such a disservice that it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible that they're not taking care of him.
Yeah. The Giants, the New York Football Giants.
I have them in.
I have them in D.
I was thinking D, and like we were talking about before, like the Giants to me are such a hard team to predict because they can go 4-12, or they can go 9-7. Like I think they can be kind of all over. I put them in the D range, because I think they're a lot better than the Bengals, and I think they're about the same as the Ravens.
I think that's fair.
Okay, I can put him in D. I can put him in D, but I can see him going either up or down.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like I could see
I'm
them
more leaning to them going down than up, but
Yeah,
I can see
fair.
him going both directions.
The Vikings of Minnesota.
B.
It's a good squad. It's kind of weird.
Their defense only got better, and they still have Diggs and Thielen. And Kirk Cousins, even though
needs to throw the ball.
Even though he's not the best quarterback in the world when it comes to clutch situations, he's a gunslinger, and he's got two great receivers to do it with.
Right. Mock, you're in agreement? 2 thumbs up. The Detroit Lions.
I give them an E because they're not talentedly like that great. They fight in a lot of games and they stick around. Like Mark and I were talking, they're not an easy win in any situation, but they're just not a talented team. I would be willing to say 9 times out of 10 if a team loses to the Lions because they beat themselves.
Yeah.
So I'd be willing to put them in E. I don't think they're that much better than the Bengals. I think that they're on par with the Giants and the Ravens, but I just don't think they have the same level of talent that those teams have.
Do you credit it all to Matt Patricia being the head coach?
I think Matt Patricia's a grinder. I think he keeps people in games.
It comes down to the offensive roster around Stafford.
Yeah. And you look at Matt Patricia, even when he was in New England, the Patriots, if the Patriots were playing a high-powered offense like the Chiefs or the Steelers or whatever, he always found ways to keep the score. You know, if the Steelers were averaging 35 points a game, he found a way to keep them at 24, so that all Tom Brady had to do was go out and score 28, which is a regular day for him. Yeah, so...
49ers. A lot of hype a year ago.
I give him...
I'm in the DC range.
Nah, I wouldn't put them at C. I don't think they can make... I don't think they have playoff potential.
I mean...
I don't think so. I think that the...
Well, you know, let me run through. I mean, you're in the division with the Seahawks and the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you're talking outside the NFC, or within the NFC... You're going to have a team like the Vikings. You're going to have a team like the Falcons.
They're not going to win the division.
No, that's what I mean. So I'm trying to think.
That means they have to get through the Seahawks, the Vikings, the Packers, the Bears, the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers. Because those are all teams that, like, those 3 that I named in the South and the North, those are those 3 teams that, like, one could win the division and the other 2 could make a wild card. Or vice versa. I just don't think the 49ers are better than any of those teams. So I can't see them making the playoffs. So I would say D range.
I'll put them in the D range.
I'm also, and I know I've caught flack from our friend Mojito. I'm not sold on Garoppolo. I'm not
for me, it has nothing to do with Garoppolo. I'm just not sold on the roster.
No, I agree with you, but you know, you can mask a subpar roster when you have a great quarterback,
right?
And I don't think that they have that.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's crappy because this was the year.
You kind of mean like the Ravens did with Flacco all those years.
Well, I'm even talking like no, I know, but like last year's Packers. I mean, their roster as a whole was kind of subpar. But if Rodgers is on the field, he makes everyone around him better.
Yeah.
And I don't think Garoppolo's that guy.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Cardinals of Arizona.
E. I don't give a shit about Kyler Murray. They still don't have anything outside of Johnson.
Yeah, I'd like someone to come and name me 5 people on the defense.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, their defense last year, I know they lost a lot of games, but it wasn't on their defense.
But they lost Peterson.
Yes, you're right.
And that's like the heart and soul of the defense.
You're absolutely right.
Which is a bigger hit than just losing a guy.
Where did he go?
I don't remember. So much shit has happened since, like, people
'Cause
signed.
I'm trying to think, I don't remember him signing.
I thought he left.
But he might not have signed. I don't recall.
He's still available?
He might.
Oh, no, he's still a Cardinal. He's still a Cardinal, my bad.
Did he, what's his contract?
That could be a guy that gets cut. Because I think he signed a big one a couple years ago. But I mean, really, like the Cardinals' defense wasn't as bad as we kind of were led to believe. It was their offense was extremely inept. Rosen could not move the ball. David Johnson looked bad.
Oh, Patrick Peterson. Sorry, he didn't sign. He's suspended for 6 games.
Oh, that's right. He busted for PEDs.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I agree. The Cardinals are an E team. I'm not campaigning for them to be higher. But I think that they have the potential to be that D team. Like,
yeah,
I think they're in a better position than both the Bengals and the Lions.
That's fair.
The Dolphins.
E.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the RNS team because Fitzpatrick is there.
Tank.
However, we got to put things into perspective.
All right, we gotta get going.
I know. I'm so tired.
Buffalo. C.
I got them in the D range.
D. They're not a playoff.
They're not a playoff team.
You don't think so? Not even like with the defense. Being kind of
I would be more apt to put the Jets ahead of the Bills for.
Because
really, I'm surprised.
Yeah, Bell makes a much bigger difference than anybody the Bills.
But even a look across the board across the AFC. If you get 2 wild card spots, to me, one of them's the Steelers or the Browns, and the other one is
the Chargers.
The Chargers or the Chiefs.
They're not beaten. They're not better than them.
And the Bills are not going to be better than any of those 4 teams.
All right. Colts.
B.
Yeah.
I'm a B.
B with A potential.
Yeah. Andrew Luck's just one of those.
He really might be one of my favorite players of all time. I love him.
I'd love
so
him more
much.
if he didn't look like a certain
like that.
boyfriend of a ginge. Raiders, I'm really torn about the Raiders. I give them D just because I'm still not sold on Derek Carr being as bad as people want to make him out to be. They did get Antonio Brown. They did get a top-tier offensive lineman, and they did add defensive pieces. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to be picking in the top 10.
I think they're a D for the exact same reason as the Giants. They're a team that could go 4-12, or they can go 9-7.
But Philadelphia, I give a C rating.
So wild card potential? Yeah.
As of right now. I mean, if we're going to go based off the Cowboys being the favorites to win the division, the Eagles would be a wild card potential / beat out the Cowboys for the division.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think
as long as Wentz doesn't,
break his back or
lose a vertebrae at practice or something.
The Jaguars.
D.
Yeah, they're going nowhere fast.
I'm not sold on Foles.
They're a team that's D that swings towards E.
The Chiefs, Kansas City.
Well, Kendall, is Tyreek Hill on the field?
What are we talking hypothetically?
For right now, is Tyreek Hill on the field? You think yes? I'm talking no suspension. He plays all 16.
I put him in B regardless, and the only reason I say that is because Patty Mahomes still needs to prove he can do this twice, even with Tyreek Hill on the field. They're still not set at running back, and their defense is still bad. Now, with that, if Patty Mahomes can go out and do the same thing he did last year, then they're going to win a lot of games with Tyreek Hill. But even with Tyreek Hill, if Patty Mahomes takes a step back and throws, if Patty Mahomes goes out and throws 35 touchdowns, the defense with no running game, the defense isn't going to do enough to. I mean, they lost games where they put up 40 points.
Yep.
I mean, with the Rams, I don't know if they lost any more than that, but they lost games where they put up a lot of points. So yeah. I give them B with a lot of A potential. I just think that the next team is a more complete team all around the ball.
Are we visiting the Giants again?
Yeah.
For what Riddler said, I tend to agree.
I think the Chargers are A.
The Chargers are A.
I think the Chargers. I just think that they're sound defensively. Phillip Rivers always plays well during the regular season. He's a terrible playoff quarterback, but he's great during the regular season. They have a lot of formidable weapons on the offensive side of the ball. They just got to figure out the kicking.
Anyone else just want the Chargers to win something? So
I want them to win the Super Bowl so bad.
But like, just so Phillip Rivers can go away.
Why do you hate Phillip Rivers?
I don't know. I'm just tired of hearing about him.
He's the type of guy, even if he wins, he's not going to retire. The guy's going to play till he's
We'll have
dead.
another kid.
Rams, I feel like you got to put an A.
A.
It's one of those things.
It's only going to get better. They got Cooper Kupp coming back. Cooper Kupp.
So,
oh, I missed that.
So even with Todd Gurley getting a reduced workload,
Why, he's getting a reduced workload?
So
yeah, I think they'll find ways to win.
I'm a fan of that defense. I think the defense is still good.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Because all they lost was Ndamukong Suh, right? Really? Like for big names?
I think so.
I'd give them an A. I still think they're the team to beat in the NFC. A.
Patriots.
Until they prove otherwise, it's an A. I don't give a shit what their roster is. As long as Brady and Belichick are at the helm, until they don't win the division, they're an A.
Is there a set the bus on fire category?
So
I'd like to put them
I'm
in
not
that.
putting him at just S because that's my. At the end, when this is all said and done, that's my vote for S.
Who are the Patriots?
That's because you love the Patriots.
How
would you let the tier play out?
I'd be...
Goddamn
no.
spoiler
But
alert.
Keep him an A. Keep him an A for right now.
All right. Saints.
Saints...
B.
A, B. I mean, it's tough to...
B because of a bad call.
Don't you get Jeff started. I hear him right now.
He's not listening.
He's stirring.
B, because I think the loss of Mark Ingram is going to be more detrimental than it seems on paper.
Too much of a...
And I think the defense is still spotty. I mean, like, they played really strong the second half of the season, but the first half of the season they were nowhere to be found.
Maybe they'll learn this year to also give the refs a few bucks.
Jets, D.
Yeah, Jets.
You're up.
Go nowhere quick.
Steelers, I would give a C. I need... Mock and I were talking about it before. James Conner played great, but they still missed the playoffs. And they lost 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns and a basket case, but that's a lot of production. I need to see that Juju can produce as the number one and only legitimate option on the field.
No problem.
Because we talked about it. Vance McDonald's a good receiver, but he's not making people miss, and he's not an elite receiver. He's just a big body. So I need to see that Ben is going to go out and play well. Ben started off the season terrible last year.
You watch. Steelers are going to go out and sign Kelvin Benjamin.
They might.
Perhaps.
To play fullback.
Now that's what I like to hear.
And place kicker.
The Seahawks.
I give them C as well.
C with B potential.
I can never count out Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll.
The Buccaneers of Tampa Bay.
E.
Yeah, they're going nowhere quick.
Real quick, do you think Russell Wilson is the hardest quarterback to game plan against?
No.
No, I don't think it's a tough guy to game plan. I just think he's a great athlete, and then he just plays well. That's what it is.
And I ask that because he's a guy that's so fluid that can beat you almost any way he wants at the drop of a dime. Like it's not, he has these games where he runs more, but he can kill you with his arm. And if that kind of falters, he can beat you with his legs, and then now he's throwing it. Like
the reason I don't say that he's the hardest is only because certain teams have the weapons to game plan against him perfectly. A team like the Bears, a team that has lights out edge speed that can get around the tackles and contain him, but have the coverage to only send 4 and hold off the receivers. Because if Russell Wilson can't get out of the pocket and people are covered, they're done. He's done, and they showed them all.
Yeah, I mean, he plays well. I think people like the Tom Brady thing. Like Tom Brady doesn't really have bad games. I can think of only one time last season that Tom Brady had a bad pick, and that was that Pittsburgh one where he just kind of lofted one up.
I still think the hardest quarterback, in my opinion, the hardest quarterback to game plan against is Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, yeah,
the guy
he'll tie you down and have his way.
But he's so hard to bring down. He's still like quasi mobile for a big guy, and you can't just sack him with one hit. It doesn't always work out. And
so on that same note, I mean Cam Newton. Then on that same,
but Ben has proved that no matter how many points he's down, he can gunsling his way back.
Yeah,
Cam plays too flustered. If he gets behind and is getting, he makes mistakes and he shows it. Ben is kind of like stone faced. He's like
trying his best.
Ben is like the Levon Hernandez. Basically, it's the same person. Give up 3 home runs? Yeah, whatever. I'm at 68 pitches.
It's a third inning.
Titans, I'll give a D just because their defense is solid and Derrick Henry's not a flash in the pan, Kyle.
That's right,
Derrick Henry is a good running back. Give him the work, Tennessee.
I'll give him good, but I won't give him great.
Right.
I didn't say he was great.
No. But Marcus Mariota, huge question mark. Receiving core, terrible. Defense is good. Decent running back.
I have such a tough time because I personally like Marcus Mariota. I think
He's not good.
He's
not.
Listen. I agree that he's trending down, but I still think he's a talented quarterback. But he needs the pieces around him. He needs to have the proper team around him.
But for me, so I kind of get what you're saying, but there's a difference between needing the pieces around you and having to have the pieces around you. So Marcus Mariota has to have at least 2 above average talents, and then the rest have to be average. It can't be anything below. Whereas Flacco needs talent around him, but Flacco does not need an all-star. Flacco just needs a solid roster. Flacco can get by with a bunch of average guys.
I agree with you 100%.
But Mariota needs at least one superstar. He needs, Delaney Walker. He succeeded his most when he had Delaney Walker.
Yeah.
And DeMarco Murray.
That's what I mean. I think that if he has the pieces around him, Mariota can succeed.
That's why I don't think Mariota is a good quarterback, because say Derrick Henry comes out and rushes for 400 yards in 3 straight games and then blows out his
fantasy.
But then he blows out his ACL. What's Mariota going to do? He's not winning games on his arms, and he hasn't been the same mobile wise since tore his leg. Did Kendall go to the bathroom?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Do we have to talk about the Titans this whole time?
No. So I guess we'll just do the Redskins since he's not here, but no one can drag it. I'm not sure if there's coitus going on or something. I don't know. But
I think they're an E team. I think Dwayne Haskins is going to fall on his face.
I agree. I think they're E, but with D potential.
Okay.
Because I still think the defense is pretty solid. And Adrian Peterson, you can't always count him out. They just have a bunch of guys that are trying to prove something, and that will always go better than it will worse. Yeah. They'll either perform at expectations or above. So I would be perfectly fine with putting the Giants, or the Giants, the Redskins in E. I was thinking because it's not like the Giants. With the Giants, they don't have a bunch of players trying to prove something. They just have a bunch of players trying to do well.
Yeah.
So Kendall, get your ass in here real quick and throw him in E. Come on, man.
I'm fading over here.
He's got a nice 25-minute ride home after this.
Yeah. Oh, that was loud.
That was really loud. You awake now?
Yeah. Oh. All
right, so can you throw the Redskins in E real quick so we can decide on S and F?
Correct.
All right, so F for me is a tie between the Bengals and the Dolphins.
Yep.
Because the Buccaneers still have Mike Evans. The Lions still have Stafford and Patricia. The Cardinals still have David Johnson, and the Redskins are just a team that just always performs a little bit better than they should.
I think it has to be the Bengals.
See, I was going Dolphins because at least the Bengals still have AJ Green.
Yes, but he'll be hurt and miss 8 games.
And they're missing Vontaze Burfict and Pac-Man Jones.
The Bengals, to me, are a team. I don't think Dalton plays the whole year. I think at some point they'll decide to move on, and they're just going to throw whoever.
Yeah, forget who they drafted.
Whoever in there, and I think they'll play for the pick next year. I think the Dolphins believe they have their guy in Josh Rosen. I don't think they need to tank to get one of these quarterbacks coming out next year.
And the reason that I'll give you the Bengals over the Dolphins is because even though the Bengals might have a little bit better talent across the board,
they stink.
No, the Dolphins just they're playing in a weaker division. The Browns are good again. The Ravens have weapons, and the Steelers are the Steelers. So it's one of those things that I could very easily see. Because I could agree, I could see Ryan Finley coming out halfway through the season. So I put the Bengals in F.
Yeah, I think the Bengals are doing nothing productive right now.
Bring back Hugh and Marvin.
Marvin together.
For S, I think it should be the Rams.
Over New England?
Yes.
And your reasoning is?
The New England Patriots...
You won't say Chicago.
No,
I'm kidding.
The New England Patriots have mildly gotten worse year by year, and I know that they keep finding ways to win games, but it's been by a lesser margin each time. And I think Jared Goff is going to play better. I think having Cooper Kupp back in the lineup is a big deal. I think even with Gurley taking a reduced workload, they still have a good offensive line that people can run behind him. We saw it happen with C.J. Anderson. And the defense is still really good. The defense, people forget, the Rams didn't put up barely any points in the Super Bowl, but it's not like the Patriots put up 24.
Right.
They're still a great defense, and the Patriots have a big hit without Gronkowski. You know, people talk about they've just thrown any Joe Schmo in wide receiver and they found a way to work, or any Joe Schmo in running back to work. The offensive line has been solid and injury free, and they've always had Edelman and Gronkowski. Now they don't have Gronkowski.
Right.
For me, the Patriots got worse offensively. For pretty much Gronkowski's gone. Sony Michel's banged up already. He's a young guy with trouble in both knees. Burkhead, I don't think is coming back.
And I think
he's not even good.
And I don't think the run game.
He was good on the Patriots.
Yeah, and I don't think the run game. Was the same last year. Like, they had success in games, but I don't think it was the same without James White.
James White, I think, is critical for that team. If he's not on the field, I don't feel they move the ball.
Or not James White. Sorry, Lewis. I think they missed Lewis a lot.
Yes.
James White is the pivotal point. James White is the X factor on that team.
But
James White also gets injured.
Yeah.
And James White can't do it by himself. And they're missing the deep ball threat, the consistent deep ball threat. You look at,
that's the thing that I don't think
I will not knock New England out of A.
No.
Not until somebody proves otherwise. And 8 games into the season, we redo this, probably put them an S. But for now, I give it to the Rams. Because the Rams didn't get, the loss of Ndamukong Suh didn't get them any worse. Yeah, he clogged up holes in the middle and kind of allowed Aaron Donald to have a little bit more free, but he was still double teamed all the time, still had all those sacks, and the corners played well when they were healthy, and this and that and the other thing. And they're getting Cooper Kupp back, and Todd Gurley. Cooper Kupp. And Todd Gurley, lessened workload, but Goff, I think postseason success is going to breed maturity in Goff. So I give him S. That's my opinion.
I'm probably going to be.
I'm impartial because I can see. All right, so I'm debating between two teams. I'm between the Bears and the Rams, and it's because I love the Bears' defense. I think it's more of a unit collectively than the Rams, and I think that
I agree with you on the defensive side of the ball. It's just the inconsistencies on offense are more problematic than they are on the Rams, and they don't have an established downhill runner. Even with a lessened workload, Gurley's still going to get the downhill running yards.
I just don't. I don't want to say Goff takes a step back because I still think he has a great season. I just think that I think that the Bears will be a better team this season than the Rams. And it's just, I mean, we can even call it the Super Bowl hangover, but I don't see the Rams being the force this upcoming season that they were last season.
That's fair. So you're picking the Bears?
I'm picking the Bears.
Kendall, you're picking New England.
Picking New England.
Yeah.
So Rita,
love Tom Brady. Just call him.
So Chicago, LA, and New England. Who do you pick?
Los Angeles. Wait.
No Rams.
LA Rams.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the Chargers.
Rams, Patriots, Bears. Who do you pick to be the S? All right. She's the tiebreaker. I'm not going to argue. My thing with the Patriots is that, for the past, ever since the Eagles, I mean, granted, it was just the Eagles Super Bowl was just 2 years ago, but, the Patriots, for me, since, they haven't been they've been the team that's, nobody's favoriting anybody to come out of the AFC except for them, but they haven't been favorited to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of every year. Everyone still picks them to go there, but, a lot of people, I wouldn't be surprised a lot of people have the Rams beating the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, or the Bears, or the Packers, or the Falcons, or Saints, or whatever.
So I guess what you're saying is actually I agree with a lot, and it's kind of the mantra that I've kind of gone by. And I dislike New England a lot, and I think teams are better, and they just beat themselves, and New England takes advantage of that, and that's why I put them in the S category.
All right, that's fair. All right, let's get to some beer reviews real quick.
Just a quick thing. Giannis won MVP.
I saw a thing people talked about it. It's Giannis won MVP and no one gives a shit because they ruined it. They do it 2 weeks after the NBA Finals. No one gives a shit anymore. When Derrick Rose won MVP, he won it in front of his hometown crowd at home, presented the trophy last game of the season, and the place just went nuts. Like, people like just don't even care about this. It's like, it's a shame that Giannis...
First buck to win since Kareem.
Yeah.
So, shout out Giannis.
Giannis Antler Combo.
Good for you.
Baron, what'd you drink?
I had a bunch.
Go ahead. Rattle them off quick.
Okay, so...
Patriots win!
Keystone Light.
Yeah, bitch, take the Patriots out of there and put the Bears in there, you dick.
What? I thought we agreed on the Patriots.
No, you agreed.
Oh.
So we're skipping Kendall's beer review.
Yeah, what are you, been drinking over there?
I did. I've had 5 of them.
Rattle them off quick.
I started with the Keystone Light. Very watery. Does the job. The Thimble Island. I was really excited about the name when I bought the Bon Voyage Mimosa Brut. Doesn't really taste like much. Double Coors Light, which is a beer that I was really fond of when I was younger. Not so much anymore. And I'm finishing off with a Wrench by Industrial Arts. I'm a big fan of this beer. It's an IPA.
Nothing like burning out the palate with some shit beer.
Oh,
first.
yeah. 6.8%. And it's very tasty. Big fan.
How'd the double Bud Light Tall Boys go?
Well, I did a kind of a pattern here. Let off with the Bud Light, it's awful. But the highlight, it is a solid drinking IPA. I like it a lot. As it warmed up, the flavor came out. Had a nice citrusy taste to it. I definitely recommend it. It's now in Connecticut, which I didn't know. So check it out. It's good stuff.
I did 3 Coors Light pints because my beer didn't get cold, and then I finished off with a Prima Pils from Victory Brewing. Just like a hoppy Pils. Solid drinking, just nothing crazy. But I give it 3 stars. I got it again. Social media, where can they find us?
Be sure to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter's GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's showing up 2 hours late to a show or canceling on us for vodka-infused hangovers and softball games.
Be sure to subscribe on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We found out this week, I believe we're closing in on 15,000 total downloads since we've started here on PPRN. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in.
Yes. Thank you.
Just keep downloading. Keep it going.
Download, throw it away.
Next week we will do a delayed kind of like recap on some NBA and NHL draft stuff that we had planned for today, but things went amok. As well as
Kyle didn't come.
We're gonna have some fun games planned and whatnot. We're gonna have a real light show next week, real fun time. So until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm
Machcine Washable.
Ooh, you jumping the gun?
Yeah, I did.
You show up late, you're gonna jump the gun.
I did. Can we do it one more time?
I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm
Machcine Washable.
Nope.
And I'm
hit it with the Hezo.
yeah, and I'm the Red Baron.
Yeah.